Sin-san, ¿hasta le gusta el gazpacho?
Ok. Uno, dos, tres, probando.
Señora Sin-san, ¿hasta le gusta el gazpacho?
Creatives, however, though, he gets Cassie.
Ok, perfecto. Vamos a ver si se ve bien la transmisión del directo aquí. Ok. Actualizamos aquí. Y le damos. ¿Qué tal, chicos? ¿Cómo están? ¿Qué tal todo? Vale, perfecto. Vamos a ver este anuncio. Ok, estos son los equipos que van a participar luego de esto. Ahí está. Uy, el teaser del nuevo personaje. Excelente, loco. Genial. ¿Qué tal, Demen? ¿Todo bien, bro? ¿Cómo te sientes? Vamos a ver un poco lo que es la transmisión de la Paladins World Championship. Para ver un poco las partidas y eso.
Yes. Okay. So first off, the Imani release, I was watching it during Presents. Looks incredible. Could you just give me like the basic rundown? Tell me about the character. What role does she fill, and how is she going to fit into a team?
So my Paladins players, she's going to fill a damage
Casi ni se escucha.
But it's a little bit more than that because, as we were talking about earlier, Imani represents like what a Paladins champion truly can be. Like, yeah, in shooters, you know, you're trying to track things with your crosshair.
Sure.
Maybe you have a gun like some of our champions do. But then, like...
You can really hear yourself.
Yeah, now I can. Ooh, I'm loud now. Terrifying. But Imani is
Sí, bro, lo sé.
because she
Lo
is
sé.
doing fantasy magic.
Claro que te
things
recuerda,
translated
loco.
through the lens of a shooter. She's casting fire spells.
Siempre estás
She's casting
activo ahí,
ice
por eso mi
spells,
canal no
and
crece.
to top it off, she summons a dragon. Like, we can't ask
Por
for
eso mi
much
canal
more
no crece.
for a Paladins champion.
That's right. So it sounds like kind of an elementalist, and you have.
Lástima
like,
que no lo
this
puedo ver en
damage
Mixer.
dealing
¿Por
role.
qué? ¿Por qué
Some
no
of those are
puedes,
out,
loco?
like, building a team around Amani? Like, what are her strengths and weaknesses, and where
¿Por
would you
qué no
need to kind of
puedes,
pick
mi
up the
hermanito?
pace?
¿Por qué no
Absolutely.
puedes?
So, as a damage dealer, she's going to thrive in the back lines. However, as a pure damage dealer, we can go a couple routes. Like, maybe it's raw damage. That's what she brings to the table. Amani's Frost stance actually has a lot of CC elements.
Okay, déjame
just
ver algo.
innately built into the kit. So you might have seen it in the video leading up to this, but there was like this big lumbering Frost projectile that's going. That's her Frost bomb attack, and it's her alt fire in her Frost stance. She can detonate that mid-air to deal the more damage, or it will do more damage the farther away it is from her.
Que estás en el celular, sí.
Which is huge to have on-demand CC for a damage class like that.
Sí, suele ser un poco incómodo ahí hacerlo en el celular. Y lejos de mi casa, sí. Eso explica todo. Vamos a ver cómo se ve esto, vamos a ver si lo podemos subir. Pero igual veo que Mixer consume más recursos del PC. No sé por qué. Un poquito más.
We look at our batch of champions
Más
and what we've
pesado
done
para
so
el-
far,
para el-
and we're like, okay, this
para la PC.
champion, you know, absorbs projectiles and shoots it back. This champion over here flies
Okay.
around.
Bye Subra, mi
Do we
hermano, ¿cómo
summon a
estás? ¿Pero
dragon?
todo
No, we
bien?
we can summon a dragon.
¿Qué tal, qué tal, qué tal, qué
It's a fantasy
tal?
shooter. We don't do justice to, like, Drogo's. I love him. He doesn't have wings. He has a nice jetpack. More of a lizard than a dragon.
No tiene
sometimes.
alas.
However, this time, a real big-ass dragon that's going to melt people with fire and ice.
Ok, que están hablando sobre el nuevo personaje. Están hablando sobre el nuevo personaje y el dragón que salió ahí, como vieron en la cinemática. Todo bien, bro, y vos todo bien, pero todo bien, todo tranquilo. Aquí a ver un poco la World Championship de Paladins.
So she represents. We've been building this
Así
story for Amani
aprovechamos.
and her release actually many months ago. Like,
Mira, esa
for
cámara
Paladins fans
incluso
out
que
there,
están
like,
usando ahora
Dragon's
se ve un
Call, right?
poquito
That beam
mejor.
went into the sky, and the Paladins of Magistrate went to that island to find like what's going on here. They found those gauntlets, took them back, and then Dredge captures that ship, steals the gauntlets, and then the dragon sinks his ships, and he's resurrected by the abyss. Like, that story we're telling is a living, breathing story that we wanted, because as a live, like, free-to-play game with live releases consistently, going into next year, that's how we're going to do things. We're going to evolve the story every patch. And she's like,
Ok, se involucran en la historia en cada parche. Se involucran en la historia de los personajes que van sacando.
Like that as new champions, as you think about the future of Paladins, it becomes a lot about, okay, like how does this fit into the lore? How does this fit into the game world?
Yes.
And Amani's kind of a first glimpse at what that future is going to look like.
Yes.
So now, overall, I guess, you know, and this maybe is a little bit of a tough question, but like how do you think Amani's going to fit into kind of the competitive scene with Paladins, and where do you think you're going to see
Vamos,
those trade-offs?
Fnatic, no más.
She's going to fit right at home, like a damage character that's going to be able to
Ni
hurt
sé
people
quiénes
from long
juegan.
range, have on-demand CC.
Pues estamos en las
She has a
mismas.
point-centric ability,
El Navi acaba de ganar ahora.
so
El equipo donde está Mutu, no sé si te suena. Ahí, ese equipo acaba de ganar la primera ronda, la primera partida. No me acuerdo cuál es su contrincante, porque en verdad los nombres de los equipos de eSport no me los sé muy bien, ¿verdad? Pero bueno, ¿quiénes juegan ahora? Déjame ver, ahora te digo. Ahora te digo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so the burst is going to be real.
Yeah.
All right, Garrett, any parting shots? Where can we find you on Twitter? How can we get in touch with you?
At Hi-Res Martini, the Paladins fans know.
There we go. Hi-Res Martini. Thanks a bunch, folks. If you're here in the venue,
Bueno, ahora lo veremos,
lo
loco. Pasa que lo quitaron.
Actually live from the show floor, so head over to the Founders Tournament. That does it from us from the Mixer
Los
Fest
campeones
for
son
right
eso,
now.
¿no?
We're
Sí.
gonna do a quick break, and then we'll be back with more Paladins.
Yeah. Más Paladins, señores. Aquí lo vamos a presentar. Esos son los equipos que van a jugar ahora. Aquí están. Como ven, Navi contra eso mismo. Ahora vamos a jugar G2A. Creo que es, si no me equivoco, pero eso. Vamos a ver qué tal. La hora local en Atlanta, ahora son las 1 en Atlanta. Wow. Aquí ya son las 7. Ok, en 8 minutos comienza la próxima ronda. Parece que es un BO3 o un BO4, algo así. Sí, un BO3. El que gane 3 gana. Ya, básicamente. Así que se puede extender, se puede disminuir, así que todo depende, todo depende, todo depende. Quiero transmitir desde esa primera partida, pero no me dio tiempo. Así que ya esperé que acabara para comenzar. Y comenzar a hacerlo desde la hora. Así uno puede aprender, qué sé yo, nuevas técnicas, nuevas cosas, ¿sabes?
And that looked like Navi was going to be super dominant coming in, and then Divi had that comeback, and everyone was just, what's going to happen?
You thought it was going to happen. Yeah. We thought we were going to get it. We thought we were going to get the upset to open up the Paladins World Championship, but Navi, wow, they are very happy. Disappointing everyone here.
Sí, Navi. DreamHack Atlanta. Mixer presenta High Resex. Ok, Mixer es el patrocinador. Ya viste la nueva campeona, sí, loco, está genial. Una morenita como Kinesa. Esos guantes y invocando el dragón. Yo incluso pensé que hoy iba a ser la transmisión de un nuevo parche. Cuando vi ese teaser, pero en verdad no, en verdad creo que van a hacer todo eso. G2 Sport contra Fanatics van a combatir ahora. Estaba Navi versus Virtus. Okay.
Yeah, it's also one that happens a lot too. I mean, they play in
Capturar
almost
aquí.
every LAN. I know G2 beat them, I believe, in the PPL summer finals, and then
ahora van a ir G2 versus Fanatics.
2 days later. It happens a lot, and they clearly know each other pretty well.
Eso pasa mucho.
Yeah, and I think that kind of was what I was going to lead into there, right? Like, these two teams have run into each other so many times, and you look at the seeding, right? And currently G2, they're out.
Sí, está genial, loco. Yo no sé cuándo van a sacar el nuevo parche. Voy a investigar a ver para hacerle su respectiva transmisión y su respectivo resumen. Estos son los equipos Fanatics. Ahí están los Fanatics. Excelente, loco.
You know, these encounters have certainly gone in Fanatics way more so than not. So, do you feel like Fanatics feeling the pressure here, Bees?
Okay.
I don't know if it's the pressure. I feel like they're a very confident team, especially when they come up with the matchups that they believe they should win. They do
Son un
tend to carry
equipo
that confidence very
bastante
well into the game.
confiado.
Fishko and Bitner famously playing fantastically now at the
Okay.
moment.
¿A cuál vas? Voy a Fanatics ahora mismo. Va a ir a combatir ahora G2 contra Fanatics. Yo voy a Fanatics. Pero todo depende qué pase. Mira ahí la corona. El sueño de todos. Mira, incluso debe de estar ahí el Josta. Ahí inscriptado en ese público.
They played LAN so much, right? And Fnatic finally got past that initial jitter of actually really winning something on LAN. They've always had that online performance that chokes up. It's gonna, whoever can carry that mentality of like, oh, we can win this. And I think Fnatic actually, since they passed that gap, they passed that mental block that they had, I think they have a higher chance to bounce back.
So you really do feel like Fnatic is upper hand.
They're playing with a new player as well compared to the last lands as well in Unbelievable, who's a fantastic player and he's just very well known. He's unbelievable.
Had to do it one time.
He's very well known for being very stable at LAN events, which is why they decided to bring him into the team. So maybe on top of their confidence that they have as a team in general, added in with that stability of Umbi, I think they're going to be a big monster this LAN, and I'm excited to see how they perform.
Ok, vamos, ¿qué tiempo falta? No sé, todavía falta. Tiene que ser que faltan como 5 o 3 minutos más o menos para que comience la próxima. Vamos a ver los picks que ellos cogen y todo eso.
I mean, Fishko, Tenor, they're both insanely, just incredible players. Fishko will have to show up on the blasters, but usually more influential on LAN. He's had historically very good performances.
Ok, creo que está mostrando partidas anteriores.
Vamos a ver con Nando. I think that the tank matchup between the two teams is going to be the deciding factor in the matchup.
It really does feel like, especially based off of game 1, Navi and Virtus.
Marcó una ulti.
They really changed
the
tone, the momentum of the game, right? Whatever you're able to get in the picks and bans.
Momento justo lo que hizo la ulti.
Do you really feel like
Mira, se lo llevó la 2 incluso antes de morir.
Inadvertently, just the tanks are really just a big focus.
I mean, we see in most drafts that the tank is
esa gente tiene una puntería bestial, loco.
The reason for that, the space they can create and the kind of momentum they can create in a game just are so heavily
el momento que ellos pueden crear en el
how you're going to play the remainder of the game. If you don't have an aggressive front line, how can you then take aggressive damage dealers? They're going to push in.
Si tú no tienes un tanque agresivo, ¿cómo vas a tener un daño agresivo?
Sometimes it can be an advantage, sometimes a disadvantage, and this is where the draft phase
Pensar
is
que
so
un día
important that the teams really do think about how their opponents play and try to counter pick and counter draft against them.
Que lo tuviste de hijo. No relaja.
What you want to hear because it raises your stock a little bit, right?
I love being
Para que tú veas, mira dónde está.
Being influential. What I guess is your thoughts coming from that angle, that perspective?
Suele pasar, suele pasar.
You really do feel like we're in a
Están practicando ellos, creo.
And mentioned specifically the Fnatic tanks needing to show up here. You really feel like that's just a thing across the board that we're going to see throughout Paladins World Championship?
I think that the tanks, like, they all perform. Some of the tanks are just clearly better.
Okay, esos son los mapas baneados.
Getting those tanks in the draft is what's influential. And the
Stone, Query, Ascension Peak, Frozen War, Timbermill. Okay. Esos son los mapas que tienen baneados en esta partida. Ok, creo que ellos tienen que seleccionar el mapa que ellos quieren. Ah, no, es el primer mapa que les toca jugar. Y luego va a ir cambiando dependiendo qué tan lejos llegue la partida.
They can win this, get the momentum, get everything going in their favor. That's a great way to set the tone for the rest of the match.
And that.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sí, se me escucha, perfecto. Seguimos.
Be the thing that we need to look out for, right? Who sets that tone? Who's going to be the one that controls the pace of this game? It's going to be very important here. And man, I'm really excited for this game because, and I don't know yet. So G2.
Okay, perfecto.
Really just going full in on the stars and stripes there.
Oh yeah, the new jerseys.
I respect that.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that's exactly what you want to do. I may try and cop a G2 jersey myself now.
Yeah. It looks slick.
It looks really nice.
So slick.
The new mouse ones. You seen the new mouse
Sí,
ones?
es cierto que el mixer consume más, loco.
They're good though.
Pero bueno, como estoy en directo y todo eso, ¿sabes? Puede que eso influya también.
Mouse, we got a new Snipes line as well. Amazing clothing line.
This stopped being an analyst desk and it became essentially the red carpet with Joan Rivers. Bees is basically Joan Rivers here. He's like absolutely dreadful. Anyway, so Bright Marsh is going to be game 1. We might see some crazy picks here from G2.
Fnatic, Fanatics versus G2 Esports. That's the way it is, man. Vamos a ver qué tal.
They want a Nara. I'm almost positive. EU loves point tanks. The Nara, the Barrack, the Fortress Breaker Ash.
Están practicando ellos. Está en calentamiento. Incluso creo que ese es el que los monitoriza. O el reemplazo o algo así, no sé.
Really? Okay. And then what does G2 do then
Pero vamos a ver qué
to
tal.
try and counter that? Because we saw how effective Inara was on Stone Keep, so much so that Inara was completely
¿Cómo se llamaba, loco?
the rest of the series in the Na'Vi VP match.
I mean, I totally agree with Presnick. I believe that Fnatic are definitely going to be looking to grab the Inara. So coming from G2, it's either going to be an insta pick from them to grab it, to just take it away, or just maybe to get out of the picks and bans. I think it's very much going to be counter draft from the side of G2 to try and figure out what exactly Fnatic are going into. But on the reverse of that, Fnatic is such a flexible team, and they're very hard to counter draft because everyone on their team can almost play anything. You can say to Bitner, are you going to be comfortable if we randomly take Grok?
Que Fanatics es el equipo de gringos. Bueno, voy a G2.
So being flexible, I think
Entiendo lo que dicen. Sí, algo ahí voy entendiendo poco a poco. Voy entendiendo algo de lo que dicen. Están hablando sobre la preparación, sobre los jugadores, Y eso. Está hablando de los picks, los bans.
Paladins World Championship 2018 live at HRX. We're here at DreamHack Atlanta. Navi managed to take out Virtus Pro 3-1. They're going to be sitting in the next round. Now the winner of this game will go on to face off against Navi in the semifinals.
Okay, el ganador, dicen que el ganador de esta partida va a estar contra Navi, básicamente.
A bunch of veterans on that team, names that we've seen in the past, guys like Cuscuti, whereas on Fnatic's end, you have some versatile players that have tons of capability to be able to do whatever they need to do in order for them to win the game. I'm excited for this because also you get the classic NA versus EU battle, which Paladins has really been hammering.
¿Qué tenías? ¿Cómo era? Ok, tenías 2 horas viendo la recarga. Ah, la verga. A mí me pasó también. Bueno, yo no tenía tanto, en verdad tenía como 25 minutos viéndolo. Y cuando sin querer cerré la ventana y cuando la volví a abrir, el marcador se puso de nuevo a 0. Entonces no sé cómo van a manejar eso. No sé si se van a acumular las horas que tú lo has estado viendo, o bien tiene que quedarte ahí pisado, ¿sabes? Eso es lo que no sé. Pero vamos a ver qué tal. Creo que G2 es un equipo latino, si mal no recuerdo. Bueno, por lo menos hablan español. O alguno de ellos hablará español. Pero bueno, vamos a ver. Ok, ya se están preparando. Van a seleccionar ahora a los bans. El primer ban, Drogos, como era de esperar. Oh, banearon a Jing. What the fuck? Y se van. Uy, Khan. Banearon a Khan, bien buen ban. Pero no sabía esa, loco, de banear a Jing. Ah, no, cambiaron a Makoa. Quitaron a Khan y cambiaron a Makoa. A medio de Makoa. Seguro se dieron cuenta que en el otro equipo había alguien que sabía mucho usar ese personaje. Ahora banearon a Khan. Ok, perfecto. Bueno, ya tendrán su forma de jugar y sabrán más o menos cómo combatir cada uno. Ok, Fnatic's ha escogido a Inara como primer pick. Ahí abajo te dicen la cantidad de picks que tiene, la cantidad de bans y la cantidad de victorias que tiene con ese personaje, básicamente. Uy, Fernando contra Inara. Creo que Fernando vendría siendo un buen counter para Inara, porque así puede fácilmente romperle su roca. Han escogido a Maldamba como healer, y en el otro lado Fnatic's tienen a Torvald y a Lian, loco. Quedan los cofres esos, Lecan. Los cofres estos de recompensas por ver el directo de Mixer. Creo que darán skins o algo así, o aspectos. Y si consigues estar 14 horas viendo el directo en Mixer, en total, de toda la transmisión, de todos estos días, te dan la skin de Vivian. De Furia, perdón, de Furia. Skin de Furia. La nueva skin de Furia. Ok, como flanco escogieron a Ivy y a Grover como healer, loco. Uy. Esto se ve interesante, esto va a ser interesante. G2 tienen a Androxus como flanco y a Casi como daño. Y están por coger a Rucus como segundo tanque, pero no sé en verdad si lo terminarán cogiendo, vamos a ver. Pero Grover, lo que mira, incluso tiene un 3% de pick Grover en esa partida. Incluso los Fnatic están cogiendo personajes que están fuera de meta, o bueno, no fuera de meta, sino están un poquito abajo en el meta. Pero bueno, ellos son los profesionales, ellos sabrán por qué lo hacen. Vamos a ver. Ok, es tiempo de comenzar esta partida, señores. Quiero ver guerra. Déjame ver.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. Ladies, gentlemen, and NB friends, we've got a Grover Gormizer bless up and bow down. How you feeling about that?
I mean, everybody's eyes are on Grover. I'm
Ya
looking
comienza,
at
señores, ya comienza,
it's
ya
something we get
comienza.
to see.
Dame compartirlo en algunas redes sociales. Hacer un poco de
spam. Okay, and there's a lot of potential here for Fnatic to really do some damage, right? And looking at the predictions coming out from your commentary and your desk trio there as well, I think they're pretty accurate. G2, I feel like they've underestimated themselves, but I'm liking the potential for that immortal push from Fernando. I think that G2, it's all about that old school. Miza, how about you?
I mean, when it comes down to it, it's going to be their pressure, how much they can push. I think a lot can be said about Cuss Cuties Fernando and what he is able to accomplish with it. I will say one of the best in A, at least able to accomplish that. But, I mean, you're pushing into a Nara, you're pushing into Torvald, like some of the best defensive front lines that you're going to be able to go up against. And so it's going to be difficult, I think, for him to be able to accomplish much. You're looking at drop bodies and Dosups here to really open that space.
So talent-wise, Gore, anything a little unusual that you noticed there, or all pretty standard, right?
Ok, ha comenzado la partida, señores. Ok, comenzó con Grover. Ok, se han matado a Rukus ya. El Grover se llevó a Rukus. Dame ver. Los están flanqueando los de G2. Se le fueron por atrás con 3. Androxus, Fernando y Casa. Vamos a ver qué hace. Está muy low, loco.
For Fnatic, and they seem comfortable, even though things aren't all going in their favor. They're still finding all of the percentage and the pressure they need.
Now, G2 have forced Fnatic away from the objective right now, but they're not looking up, but they need to be aware of this. EV, Jera finds one. Fish Echo cleans up a second dose. Does get one in trade.
¿Qué pasa, güey? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa?
Well to the Boxy there, but it's a double kill for Fish Echo right now. Looking for the triple, finds it, can't find the quadra kill as his Bitterness steals it away. That's Fnatic.
Déjame reiniciarlo porque se está viendo lagueado.
I mean, these two teams both.
Vamos a reiniciar. Para no perdernos esta partidita hermosa. Esta partidita bella y hermosa. Creo que me va a quitar el tiempo que duré. Sí, me bajó a 0 de nuevo. Pero vamos a dar. Vamos a cerrar este tiempo. Una cuadra kill, loco, se hizo. Buxy se hizo una cuadra kill, loco, con Liam. A la verga, güey. Comenzaron re fuerte, loco, los Fanatics. Yo vi a Fanatics. Yo vi a Fanatics. Entonces, déjame ver. Ahí vemos a... Oye, lo están haciendo respawnear incluso. Wow, loco. Ruku salió fue a morir ahí. Se lanzó al pedo, la capturaron la primera, señores. Le capturaron la primera. Ahora tiene difícil. 2-0, señores. Igual se puede remontar, puede que la remonte, pero uff, está fuerte. Mira incluso la racha que tienen ellos. Parece que vienen calientes de algunas partidas anteriores. Vamos a ver. ¿Por qué todos usan ese spray? Ya lo necesito, lo quiero ese spray. Ok, vamos a ver. A ver cómo lo hacen en esta ocasión. Ellos están bastante agrupados, eso es lo que veo. Bastante agrupados, y mira, incluso le vienen por detrás. Androxus ha utilizado su ulti y se ha llevado a 2. Se lleva a se llevó a. a Grover. Bien, lo tienen. Tienen el punto. Los G2 tienen el punto ahora mismo. Vamos a ver. ¿Qué pasa, loco? ¿Por qué se hace? Vamos a bajarlo a... No sé por qué me sube. Ok, seguimos. Uy, lo tumbó. Está insane, loco, mira eso. Se lo llevó. Tienen el punto de nuevo, señores, tienen el punto de nuevo. Está muy difícil, loco, para ellos, ya. Tienen 3-0. Está muy difícil para que remonten ahí ahora, Está bastante difícil que remonten. No es imposible, porque en verdad se ha visto, en los eSports se ve mucho eso, la remontada. Pero, está difícil, loco. Difícil que remonten ahí. Tiene que irse Ivy de ahí, porque si no es GG. Lo mataron. Sí, ya acabaron con todo el equipo, así que tiene que retroceder ya. Se mataron uno con otro, loco. Eso estuvo buenísimo. Buenísimo. Le cerró la puerta y se salvó, loco, Leinara por un segundo, loco, solamente. Seguro está equilibrado el conteo y quizás llevas más de media hora, pero no lo sabes. Sí, eso puede ser. Puede ser eso. Creo que es eso, en verdad, porque en verdad no creo que se vaya a estar reiniciando cada vez que vayas a actualizar o cerrarlo o moverlo, ¿sabes? El Grover está, el Ruku está reload, loco, a un toque. ¿Qué fue lo que le hicieron ahí? El Maldambo ultió. Y el Grover también. Loco, la tienen difícil, loco, ahí. La tienen difícil, porque ya casi le están empujando. Queda casi, no, GG. What the fuck? What the fuck, loco? ¿Tuviste esa reacción, loco? What the fuck? What the fuck? No, se mamó ahí, se mamó, loco. Mío. Boom. Esas jugadas son las que me gustan. Ok, Fanatics tiene la primera victoria de este versus. Fanatics contra G2, la primera victoria. Vamos a ver qué tal sale la próxima. Están 1-0. El que consiga 3 victorias gana esta partida, este versus, y pasa a la próxima, al próximo versus. Qué bueno era la Lian, Instaban, la próxima partida. Sí, ya ellos le van a banear. Incluso se hizo una cuadra aquí, loco. No la vimos, pero se hizo una cuadra aquí en esa partida, loco. Bastante buena. Sí. Fanatics vino con las pilas nuevas, loco. When you get the Torvo, you get the Lian, you get the Inara, and they were putting so much pressure on. Como le dije, tienen personajes que están fuera del meta, pero loco, mira lo que hicieron, loco, rompieron, ¿verdad? Con esos personajes. En verdad, el meta lo hacen ellos, como quien dice.
It's the fact they also expended ults to use on the zone. They used the big ults like the Fernando ult to try and secure this zone. but just let the Inara go through. So it's just
because then the whole thing falls apart. The whole thing falls apart once Inara gets there. So much sustain, stays alive, and then at that point you have the Lian just pushing forward. And then can we talk about the Lian, because
non-stop damage,
3 damage,
non-stop,
as you had said.
Yeah, they didn't want to look at her. Their whole goal was to like burst down the Torv, who can't really sustain himself, to get the Grover. Like they were just trying to shove and catch those.
Okay, vamos a compartirlo.
Was just free shooting. They didn't really didn't care other than that one time that she kind of fed the pick the second mid.
And your Steel Series MVP.
Ok, estamos viendo la partida que se hizo. 1, 2, 3. Uy. Cuadra, loco. Ah, no era cuadra. Yo creía que era cuadra, loco. 1, 2. Déjame ver. Sí. Lian se hizo la partida, loco. 3. 4 aquí, loco. Miren ahí. Sabía que había visto una cuadra aquí. Era bastante buena, loco. Esa Lian es bastante buena, ¿verdad? Hay que decir. La verdad hay que decirla. Mira. Mierda, loco, sí, mamón, loco, no. Ahí se mamó. Ahí se mamó, loco. Una velocidad de reacción increíble, loco.
That's just some beautiful synergy between those champions.
And they used all their sustain to try to get that aggressive zone. When they backed up, they didn't have any way to keep themselves alive through the Lian's pressure. So they just couldn't make it out before the wall went down.
The combos they had as well. We see on the left side of the map when they push through, the Inara wall goes
Ah, what the
up,
fuck? Tiene los lentes dañados, creo.
Links in with the into the other pick for the
me ha pasado.
Phenomenal play from Fnatic. They're really showing what they're made of and what they're capable of.
So much pressure, right? And what are you supposed to do there? That game was, and he's getting written on his head.
Qué buena mesa.
That game was won in the picks and bans.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
I mean, and credit, he must have a really flat head.
He does, especially a lot of pressure from Theo. Theo known as the human
Cabeza de
chin.
mesa, le
That's a
dicen.
lot of muscular strength pushing down there on Bitner's head.
The human chin.
You need some band-aids on the stage for that guy's scalp right now? I think it might be.
I don't know, man. Maybe he's doing that because he just needs to cool off, you know, after having a dominating game. But all right.
So la próxima partida será en Serpent Beach.
For game 2 here, I believe this will be G2's pick because they had lost. So Serpent Beach. Thoughts?
Serpent Beach is kind of a mixed match kind of map. There's a lot of different ways you can kind of play it. I think the aggressive tanks might not be as good for the side of G2 here if they let the Inara slip through again. But then again, the aggressive tanks are good for taking the high ground on this map, which can counter out the Inara. It's a very specific map, and I think it's going to come down to how the players play more so than the draft in this game.
One thing they could do is let them get a pretty good high ground comp, and then just having the aggressive tanks let them take it. Now they're down their comps on the low ground. They're not getting as much of an advantage as they would have liked to with their composition.
So we saw in the first picks and bans
Expo
no Inara focus, right? Which, you know, made sense. Kind of feeling it out, right? Same thing happened in game 1. But then they let the Torvald and the Lian go through. There are a lot of things that basically G2 need to ban out and also take away.
Eso, lo que ha pasado, estoy diciendo que lo que ha pasado le da mucha información a los de G2 en qué banear y qué piquear en la próxima partida. Esa partida, como saben, la primera, obviamente pueden darle vuelta a esto todavía. Pero el primer ban, vamos a ver quién es el primer ban de Fanatics. ¿A quién van a banear? O quizá lo hicieron a propósito para que ellos no supieran qué personaje son ellos buenos, pero en verdad banearon a Drogos, a Jhin. ¿Por qué banean a Jhin, loco? Esa es mi pregunta. Banearon a lo mismo. Imagino que ahora lo que harán es que van a... La que recién anunciado dice que hay un problema con las recompensas y lo están investigando. Ah, ok. Sí, porque incluso la primera vez que ellos lo hacen por ahí por Mixer, imagino que eso traería un poco de problemas. Piquearon a Torvald. Torvald de nuevo.
She doesn't do quite as much on this map being on the low ground. If you push and take the flat, then you can just turn and burn her. It's not like she has a getaway that she does on Brightmark.
That's very true. That's very true.
All right, so the Torvald goes first. You get the protection with the bubble. You get a lot of good stuff. A good kit there with Torvald.
Okay. Mira, incluso Torvald tiene un buen rango de baneo. Lo está mareando mucho Torvald, al parecer. Más de lo que lo piquean. El viejito se está haciendo útil de nuevo. Ok, Fernando de nuevo. Parece que van a hacer lo mismo, loco, porque incluso han cogido... Ah, mira. Sí. Se llevaron a Lian de una. Claro, y si le dejaban a Lian, loco, es bastante peligroso para ellos. Están incluso piqueando los mismos personajes que habían picado en lo anterior. Y ahora se llevaron a Maldamba. Esto va a estar interesante. ¿Qué estarán pensando? Esos son los líderes de cada uno de los equipos. Torvald y Talis, sí. A Rukus de nuevo. Piquearon a Rukus otra vez. Quizás en este mapa sea un poquito más útil Rukus porque como hay un high ground, ahí puede disparar e incluso tirar la ulti. Ahí creo que un buen pick. Se va a llevar 2 daños, loco, 2 daños, doble daño. No sé si los otros van a hacer lo mismo, seguir doble daño o van a coger un buen flanco para restarlo ese daño. Ah, sí. Uy, se lo hicieron con Eevee. Porque Eevee va a ser un poco difícil de atinarle los disparos con esos 2 daños de daño directo. Y Víctor. Víctor puede hacerle bastante presión. Vamos a ver si...
pummel them back with nades once they're trying to take your high ground.
And Bees, you called it. You said that the Victor could go really well into this composition. Fnatic seems like they heard you.
The Eevee also complements it really well because the Eevee can play very safe.
Vamos a ver.
Jumping in and out, poking and causing distraction for G2.
A Furia, se llevaron a Furia, loco. Ahí está un poquito bien ese pick porque Eevee quizás no le pueda hacer tanto counter a Furia. Aunque sí está el Víctor, pero es difícil que Víctor también la mate. Furia es un buen healer para piquear. Pues tiene mucha supervivencia, ¿verdad? Ok, vamos a ver.
They want to be hyper aggressive. That's why they took the Furia. They have to get a pick early and before the Eevee can make a difference. They have the Furia, I think, almost specifically for the Flame, the damage boost, the speed boost to take that ground that they want faster.
Ok, el boost de daño, el boost de velocidad que da Furia bastante bueno, están diciendo.
With the Furia to do all that they need to do.
Yeah, that's very
todo lo que necesita hacer.
Question was asked, but now it is time to seek out the answer. Let's head over to our casters.
Vamos a ver la segunda ronda de estas partidas, de este versus.
3 rounds, Fnatic take a 2-0 in the first one. Furia's in flame lets G2 do good stuff on round 2, but they don't get the push.
Ok. Están diciendo que Fnatic se llevaron la primera ronda, pero para G2, Furia será una buena opción para su segunda partida. Vamos a ver qué hacen Fnatic. Comenzaron poniendo sus escudos. Pegaron ahí a... Uy, Uy, loco, se vendieron, loco. Se vendió la casa ahí. Se vendió mucho la casa. Está haciendo bastante presión ahí. Uy, loco, mira, se la llevó. Uy, casi le pega incluso a Ruckus. Está haciendo una presión increíble, loco. Mira, el Víctor ni retrocede siquiera. Mira. Demasiado daño, loco. Y está fallando muchas balas incluso también. Víctor está pegando muchísimos headshots. Hola Miguel Ángel, ¿qué tal, bro? ¿Todo bien? ¿Qué tal? Mira. Lo flanquearon, pero le pusieron el escudo al Víctor. Uy, loco, fue fallido ese flanqueo de Fernando. Ahí está Ignara con Buxi. Mira, estaba esperándolos ahí. ¿Será que se escapa? Sí, se escapó. Y tienen la de curación para cuando están en la roca. Loco, pero Víctor le está haciendo una presión, loco, increíble. Es un buen daño, en verdad. Ese fue incluso el que fue Leon en la partida anterior. El que iba de Leon. Ahí le pegó. Uy, tiene una puntería bestial, loco. Mira. Uy, muerta ahí. Muerta la furia. Uy, la triple. Uy, se salvó, loco. La puta madre. Se salvó de la triple. No, la tienen difícil ya. La tienen difícil, loco. Oye, te digo, ya está bastante tranquilo este momento. Wow, loco, la tienen difícil los G2. La tienen difícil los de G2, loco. La repetición. Se llevó a la furia. Oye, Víctor le hizo una presión increíble ahí, loco. Lo que son los daños hay que bañarse a él, loco, ¿verdad? That's almost 4 times the amount of damage the Bittner is doing right now. That is insane. Once again, here's the other big condition for Fnatic. Buxi entra directamente al punto, loco, no tiene que ver. Pero está muy alejado, loco. Ahí Víctor aprovechó el boost que le dio el Torvald. Uy, ¿qué lo? Uy, no, se le hicieron, loco. Se la rehicieron.
Not easy to lose a fight when you have Inflame popped, and that is just a boost to what Fnatic have been able to apply, knowing exactly when to fall back, when to use their own seismic crash, as well as the ice storm. The Dread
se va. La Iber está haciendo bastante presión, le está haciendo el real zoneo, como debe de ser. Lo bajó a todos del caballo, loco. Ya capturaron los de Fanatics. La Ivy hace su habilidad para curarse un poco y salir de la zona. La tienen difícil, loco. Mira, y mataron a Cassie. Está jugando demasiado bien, loco. Mira, incluso le busqué la curación, incluso ahí. No, pero Ivy está rompiendo ahí. Creo que él salió ahí para ver cómo estaba la situación y si estaban todos ahí. A ver si podía hacerlo. Pero está difícil, loco. No pueden ni matar a la Ivy. Y el Víctor rompiendo, haciendo la verdadera presión. Uy, se la hizo, loco. Se la hicieron, loco. 2-0, loco. Wow. Los tienen acorralados, sí. Están haciendo una presión increíble, loco. Increíble, loco.
completely different team.
And we can't deny as well that we wonder how much of this is just due to the
Increíble,
loco. These
loco.
teams might have now that Unbelievable has taken the role over from Theo of main tank, and maybe that's just brought something else to the table, right? Maybe that's allowing a little bit of flexibility in champion pools, or just in positioning, which
vamos a ver. Esta puede convertirse o en la última de este versus o en la definitiva. Fanatics va ganando 2-0 a G2. Si gana una más, ya ganó esta ronda. Así que
And there are so many questions there, Goran. Who better to answer them than Golden Boy on the desk, folks?
Just me. Only me. I'm the only one that will answer all of the questions, and I will tell you exactly what's going on right now, Vox.
Mira ese porrito de Paladins Strike. Todo kawaii.
I'm sorry, I gotta keep it 100 with you people at home. You folks in Mixer deserve that much. Anyway, welcome back. Here we got Chris and we got Bees on the desk. Guys, seriously, what is going on?
¿Qué está pasando, chicos?
I am shocked and appalled. Because G2 is getting stomped, and it's just not something that I would expect to see here.
Yeah, they seem confident.
Están viendo a ver qué estrategia van a seguir utilizando.
I feel like they were ready for the flexibility of Fnatic, which I mean, it's a team they've played before. They should be ready. They should know what's coming. They're a team that always likes to counter draft. It likes to deny you things that you want, and it just feels like they're kind of giving them. I mean, that draft was when they played against VP in the qualifiers, and it did the same exact thing.
I mean, you say they like to. G2 likes to deny.
Right? Genial,
Are they really denying? Because they're just allowing at this point, Bees.
I think sometimes in these circumstances you almost play yourself in a manner of sense. Like you're we're going to take this away from them. We're going to make sure they don't get this. When in actual fact, the enemy team's just turning around and saying, you've just given me everything I really wanted. So sometimes it's better to just go for them safer picks and bans.
Okay, vamos a ver.
Play the draft out from there.
I'm blown away by this. These have been some insanely short games, and you go in, you want to take down some notes, you want to analyze what we're seeing here, but there really isn't all that much to break down. Maybe there's a story in the stats. Let's go ahead.
Vamos a ver qué van a hacer ahora. Van a hacer la repetición. Mira, estos son los medidores de cada uno. Uy, loco, Fernando 0. Liam 1. Ay, loco. Casi 0 kills, loco. What the fuck, loco. No, pero, uy, loco, ese mercado está feo, loco. Lo tenía acorralado, sí, loco, no podían hacer nada casi ahí,
And that shield, I just melted. It just disappeared, and he couldn't kite away in time.
It's the point that I made with the Furia pickup. It's, in theory and practice, the idea of taking the damage to be more aggressive works. If you don't have the sustain to push in with the damage, then your team dies. And that's what we've seen happen. As soon as they start trying to get that momentum even into getting close to the victor, your backline's dead. So then what are you going to do when you're in front of them with just a tank?
You know, to kind of quote other games that I work on, it was almost as if it was a dive versus a counter dive. And the dive was coming in, but it just was getting absolutely shut down. And when you're not pushing in, not only as a unit, but you're not target calling, you're not focusing down anyone. Like everything just falls apart, right? It is a very much a composition that is focused. It felt like on like, okay, here's a person, take him out.
Okay.
And then that's like where you go from there.
Están en la preparativa. Mira qué calmado van ellos ahí.
It really just felt like they were countered 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, they were overestimating the amount of
Ice Mile. Ok, minas de hielo. Ahora es el mapa que toca jugar. La mina de hielo.
We're going to push them off high ground. They're going to back up, and then the Hexafire is going to destroy them. But they just died, and then the Hexafire was just kind of there waving, saying, "There's a lot of damage here. You don't need to take it if you don't want to." They just couldn't get the execute they want.
Hey guys,
okay, perfecto. vengan. Quiero alguna galletita.
Map 3 will be Ice Mines.
Okay, Ice Mines.
Thank you, man.
Menos de hielo.
This one. They want to go for
déjame ver.
I think they want some points on the board. before the end of the set.
Hola Bigote, ¿cómo estás, bro? Pinches furros de skin, jugadores peores. Se lo juegan como furros. Se maman, incluso nosotros tenemos más kills en casuales. ¿Dónde se le sube la dificultad a los bots? Está difícil subirla. Estos bots, todos fáciles. Estos bots, todos fáciles.
But Ice Mines is a map that you go to when you want to. This is a map to equalize that. The odds of you capping, even if you're like a significantly better team, are pretty low. It's just so easy to defend on Ice Mines. You can spam down at the cart from almost being invincible. There's just such long sight lines you have to push through. The defenders have massive high ground. So it being 3-3 lets them stall the momentum after every single push and then get that reset that they might want to think about the next mid.
All right, well, here come the picks and bans, and we're going to start with G2's ban here. What are they going to go
Viendo la
for?
Paladins.
I'm glad to see G2 go for the first pick here instead of the second pick like the other ones. I feel like they were giving too much power away to Fnatic instantly within the draft and then kind of trying to stagger their way back after an initial bad pick.
Torvald is removed, and then you have the Makoa out of the fight as well. Makoa has not seen much action here today. Very powerful front line, and a map like Ice Mines, you simply just don't want that. And then speaking of powerful front
Ok, comenzaron con los bans. En esta ocasión banearon a Torvald y a Kang, los de G2. Y los de Fanatics han baneado a Makoa.
And Torvald provides so much extra sustain to the composition that it lets them reset, back up, re-heal, and think about what to do next.
Fnatic now deciding what they want to go with here on the ban, and it is okay. So the Fernando.
Han baneado a Fernando, loco. Muy interesante. Han baneado a Fernando. Se está riendo porque están baneando a Fernando. Y Fernando, las dos partidas anteriores no ha hecho muchas cosas, ¿verdad? Igual a Fernando es el primer pick que siempre hace. Así que no sé qué tendrán en mente. Inara. Se llevaron a Inara ahora. Los de G2 se llevaron a Inara. ¿Dónde esquipeo la instalación del juego? Va a ser necesario, Déjame ver.
So I'm not quite sure now how the Fnatic is going to draft into this because they've lost the best point tank. The best aggressive tank is gone. So where do they push now from this?
Taking the best support away is definitely one way to start.
Definitely a good start.
Best support and one of the best blasters.
They get the Drogos.
Ok, han cogido a Drogos y a Jink. Se llevaron a Jink. Wow, Jink.
And as I said earlier as well, the insta-give now
¿Quién
from
entiende
Drogos is
esto?
going to be fantastic at ensuring the Anara isn't doing what we've seen her do so frequently, infinitely contesting the point without anyone to stop her.
Yeah, and the Immortal counter to the Drogo's ult is gone. He's going to be getting a ton of value out of that. There's really no way for them to avoid it on this mid unless they play outside of the cabin and all have sightlines onto the Drogo's, but you can't do that.
Ok, a Víctor. Se llevaron a Víctor ahora en esta ocasión. Le quitaron a Víctor. Pero todavía tienen la posibilidad de... Ah, bueno, ya cogieron daño. A Lian, le cogieron a Lian ya, sí. Le cogieron a Víctor y a Lian porque se están asegurando de que no pase lo mismo que le pasó en la partida anterior. Ash. Se llevaron a Ash. En serio. No sé exactamente por qué cogieron a Ash. Y escogieron a Barik, loco. Bueno, los Fanatics en verdad son muy impredecibles porque pueden coger picks, unos picks malos, pero ganar así la partida. Ok, tienen a Maldamba.
I do like the Vic into their tank composition. I feel like they can get away from the Ashe pretty decently well, and his ult is super good into Barik.
Into Barik. He counters the Barik ult really well with that.
Question is, will he be able to execute? That has kind of been G2's problem here. Despite them having some interesting picks, they don't get to execute. Cassie's
okay.
there as well.
Paladins ha llevado a Cassie como último pick. Y G2 a Ruckus de nuevo, otra vez con Ruckus. Bastante raro.
Executing has been their issue, so I'll say G2 for this one because I think reactive play is going to be better for them.
All right, Kresnik thinks we're going to go to a game 4. Bees.
I have to disagree. I think they have good damage on the side of G2. I don't think they have the confirmation in the kills with their backline composition, so I'm going to again go for Fnatic on this one.
So it comes down to the execution, and that is going to be the thing that we
vamos a ver cómo lo hacen, loco.
Ladies and gentlemen, can G2 force a game 4?
¿A quién le vas? Yo lo voy a Fanatics, loco. Desde el principio le iba a ir a Fanatics. Le voy a Fanatics. Pero en verdad puedes remontarla, loco. En verdad eso lo hemos visto muchas veces ya, que se puede remontar una partida desde cero. Que siempre pasa. I smile. Mira este hielo. Déjame ver. Igual G2 lo tiene difícil en este mapa. Puede que no, pero uff. Tienen a Drogos, loco. Y Drogos en este mapa. Ok, comienza. Vamos a ver dónde se va, cómo lo hacen. Y Nara se tira de una a atacarlos. Está low. Ya la curaron, déjame ver. El Ruckus va por atrás a flanquearlos. Uy, tan relow ahí, loco. Oh, mira, están súper escondidos, loco. Ni se ve para el Ruckus flanquearlos. Mientras que los compañeros van muriendo ahí poco a poco. Ahí mi madre, loco. Apareció el Ruckus, pero ya le van a hacer un cake. No pudieron hacérselo. Loco, que está difícil, loco, que esa gente, loco, se coordina muchísimo. Uy, ¿quién gana? Uy, se mataron uno con otro, Buena ahí. Déjame ver. Ahí drop boobies. No sé, pero por alguna razón se están súper escondiendo de los de G2. Casi ni siquiera pueden dispararle, nada de eso. E incluso los de G2 están muy expuestos al daño, según estoy viendo. Mira. Le pega. Uy, mató.
I mean, that was immediately overformed. The minute he jumped off the high ground, he was just in danger. There was nowhere for him to go or feel safe. And now with Dread Serpents coming out, ult's being used here by
HD, full HD. Se ve muy feo, loco.
But the kills are going the way of them. Fnatic still have the ability to fight back. Ying forcing herself onto the ability here on the objective.
And there was an illusory rift that came on through. That Ying was pumping out a ton of healing.
Oye, que si lo pongo en 1080p. Ah, mira, sí me deja. Pero no se freeze un poco. Se freeze un poco, no, se detiene. Ah, no. Ahí está funcionando. No,
the aggression from Unbelievable there, but they don't find the kill on the eye drop body. That Leon stays alive. X30 picks up a double kill on Altamber. And Bodies is just going in. Doesn't go for the Ying. Sees that fire spit going in and gets out as quickly as possible, but still.
Hay que darlo ahí,
It's 1 minute and 38 seconds on the clock. It's about halfway through time-wise.
Vamos a ver.
They're over 50% of the way through Ice Mines. This is going pretty rapidly, Gore.
Rapidly, but it's also notoriously difficult, especially once you hit this area. Actually, the last 25%
tienen difícil, loco, súper difícil.
You typically will die. All of that time, that minute and 20 seconds they have on the clock, can disappear in an instant just because of how long it takes to get back to this area if they wipe. So if you're G2 here,
por lo que veo en esta partida se cambiaron los papeles. Ah, pero mira, fue G2 que capturó el punto, loco. Yo no me había dado cuenta. G2 son los que tienen el punto, pero en verdad se están cubriendo bastante bien. En esta ocasión están un poco más coordinados y jugando más calmadamente.
A nice knockback, but Fisheko is the one that the eyes need to be on. If Evil Eye can take make that trade, get ahead of him, and get rid of this dragon, then I think that's exactly what you need to break through this archway. But otherwise, I mean, he's in probably the safest area. There's nowhere he can't see for G2.
Se le está acabando el tiempo, loco, para pushear, y tan cerca que lo tienen ahí,
is going to get spotted out, called out, and potentially ended in
le
death for
pegó
G2.
ahí.
And I love the fact that you've also just got this illusion up there for Ying as well, right?
Le viene por derecha, le por izquierda, le viene por izquierda. Uy, se lo llevaron, loco. Están casi en el punto, loco, Los G2 se atreven a remontarla, G2 se atreven a remontarla, loco. Tumbado, bien. Ahí está Víctor haciendo presión. No, lo hicieron. Solamente tienen que llevarse a Barik. No lo hicieron. Esa. Se atreven a remontar, loco. Se atreven a remontársela,
I mean, it's definitely
buena.
I was curious about looking back at the map bans, right? You see Ascension Peak, you see Splitstone Quarry banned away by G2, and it's in that area. Those are their pocket maps. Those are the ones that they've been going to all year as the we can take this, especially as a 4-0, maybe as a 4-1 if things go a little
casi tumban
awry.
a Ruckus ahí. ¡Ay, sí, lo tumbaron! No mames.
Like we mentioned here, for that 3-3, but if you can find yourself up 2-0, if you can control this next objective,
igual sigue siendo
G2
bueno.
put themselves in a position to push this to game 4.
So, Gore, we also just saw that respawn replay out of the gate right there. It was all about Isbitner on this Cassie. It was a really big thorn on the side of G2 on that early point capture. Do you want to see more aggression going on towards this Cassie this time around?
I want to see more pressure on the Cassie. I also want to see Bittner maybe change up the way he was playing. One of the things he did last round again was jump off of his balcony. This is his safe haven. There's walls all around him. There's only a couple ways up here. A grenade is going to be able to lock him down.
Comenzó agresiva la Cassie, loco.
When he jumps down right here, he puts himself out in the open and could potentially fall down.
Really big
Ruckus. Adiós, Ruckus. No, ahora sí le están haciendo presión, loco. De verdad, desde ahora. El Víctor un toque. ¡Oh! Esa presión que le hicieron, loco, ahí.
97% and rolling over Fnatic. They wasted ultimates because it wasn't a waste. They needed to win one fight and that was it.
No le pegó.
I mean, you're looking at the potential for G2 to 4-0, right? If you lose that point as Fnatic, you're looking at a potential of having to go to another map. You want to end it right here. You want to end it as quick as
allá los de Fnatic le capturaron el punto, estaban empujando. O están haciendo una presión fuerte ahí, Y estamos separados todos, mira, estamos separados. Cuando pasan esas situaciones hay que estar jugando full coordinados y agrupados. Se llevaron a la casa. Oh, what the fuck, Drogo sin cabeza.
That's all that it is. It is him being able to play Drogo's the way he plays, the amount of damage he can put out is going to charge that up. It's something that we typically see, but I feel like Fisheko can charge it up just a little bit better with his aim.
And I think that's partially as well, just due to the fact that Fisheko plays very safe as Drogo's a lot of the time, saving the thrust for critical moments.
El Víctor se lo llevó el Víctor.
Finds one, Bugsy will trade, 4-4 right now. Dozops cleans up unbelievable. G2 Esports are putting on a very aggressive defense here.
Drop bodies showing up has made a big difference here as well.
You think?
I think because the last couple games, especially when you look at game 1, right? That Androxus was pretty much nowhere. Last game,
drop bodies turn up
he
to
was
play
around.
this game.
Now he's finally playing. Now he's hitting the headshots.
Cool. That's been a really big inconsistency actually for G2. You know, on the desk it was mentioned earlier that they hadn't had drop bodies for half the season. They've been playing with the sub flame effects. Drop bodies is the win condition for me, Gore. If he doesn't turn up,
están haciendo presión, loco, para que no cojan el punto otra vez.
Has ridden on a couple of players that land for both of these teams
all
year. Fnatic, it's been Bittner and Fisheko finally showing up, but if you see drop
la Lian estaba atrás todavía.
Right here, it's a bad position to be in. You're trying to be able to get it, but you get distraction time.
Right.
Killing the timer right now is all G2 need to do.
So tell me what that matters, Gore. We got 30 seconds left in this payload push. What'll happen here?
Okay, le toca retirarse ahora,
A nice 3-1 slash line. Of course, it gives Fnatic the comeback mechanic again, but you're still 1 point away at least from being able to take a map. Stop these from being a full sweep, at least in terms of maps, and give yourself some control.
Está reñida, que esta partida está está reñida. Hay que decirlo. No, pero si Fanatics resiste, le va a dejar 3-1 a los con G2. Está muy cerca, loco, ahí, muy cerca.
Full health Inara, you have to go through an archway with a Victor throwing grenades constantly at you. There is not a lot of ways to break through there. There's maybe a couple angles to approach it.
Esa alfombrilla.
Starts playing that factor, right? You can't leave the payload. Someone has to stand there, and no matter what, you're not going to be able to survive long. But this was the thing that I think really determined the round. Not only was it the ults being used at the very beginning, you get rid of the Inara, you get rid of the Ruckus, it's the pressure that Fnatic applied immediately. G2 weren't expecting it, and if they can keep them on their toes like that again, that could change this game, at least for Fnatic, because they still have comeback mechanic.
You know, I didn't know that we were playing a new minigame mode during the Paladins World Championship.
Vamos a ver.
Click adventure right now, because there is not much pressure going on to Cassie.
3-1, señores, 3-1. Esta está reñida esta. Bueno, puede que G2 gane esta partida, pero no, casi comienza súper agresiva ahí. Y se llevó al Ruckus, se lo llevó, sí. Se llevaron a Lian la última. Ok, los Fanatics tienen el punto ahora, Y creo que le van a hacer la presión full para que no ni siquiera se acerquen otra vez al punto, No. 2-3. Le capturan al punto de nuevo, Está fuerte esa ahí, le tumbaron al Drogos.
The control they've been able to have, at least asserting onto the point at the very beginning and hold on to it. With comeback mechanic, you don't have to spend anywhere near as much time applying that pressure. If you get it early on, you're going to be able to hold it no problem until you get the full point. But it's when now you get maybe a half comeback mechanic or no comeback mechanic when things start to matter. If they can find this push and tie it up, it might actually hurt them a little bit more.
And that's a really big issue there, Gro, that we've got to think about as well. And Fnatic's been skewing and being able to take advantage of that comeback mechanic every single round after the first.
Mira, están defendiendo muy bien, loco.
How is that turning the tide right now for Fnatic, do you think?
I mean, it's one get rid of Inara free card. She has been such a huge impact. She has seismic crashing.
Están defendiendo muy bien.
Her health bar, her wall, everything about her kit just makes her so good at being a frontline. In my opinion, probably the best frontline, at least at being a frontline. And Drogos is the best one at getting rid of her.
She is absolutely gore.
And le pegó ahí.
Potential is so valuable right here. And look at that again. It was used during
Uy, loco, casi se lo lleva. Casi se llevan al Victor ahí. Están todos low, están todos low. Si Nara se queda ahí, es un blanco fácil. Un blanco fácil, loco.
I don't think so. I think Fnatic are going to hold on to it. They might pop a couple, maybe just
salió Drogon. Bring another fake card. Ay, pensé que le iba a ultear, loco. Si lo ulteaba ahí.
It's dangerous to try and use them, especially for something that's not going to end the game, not going to close out anything. You are just looking at how to first get past this archway, first conquer G2.
Le está haciendo combate, loco, ahí el Ruckus a todos.
Well, the good news is that there's 40 seconds left to do it. The bad news is that G2 are starting to stagger out.
Bueno. ¿Quién queda atrás? ¿Quién queda atrás? No, no queda ninguno.
Why is that stagger sort of hidden mechanic so valuable?
With the way things work, your team's going to regroup. That's the way teams are going to play. That's the way Fnatic's going to play. They're not going to approach that payload until they have all 5 members in a comfortable position. Not only is the stagger going to keep them from regrouping in time, but also because of how wide Ice Mines is, how long of a run it is from one base to the other, it's just going to take them forever. That 10 seconds now on the clock has just been burning down G2. They can hold it here, and they have nothing to worry about for overtime.
Great kill on
the está reñida, loco, está reñidísimo, loco.
Fnatic sales right now, they have been cut through and through, and G2 Esports do defend successfully.
Pero Fnatic se atreve a remontársela, loco. Se atreve a remontársela. Pero no sé por qué no están capturando estos, los de G2. Pero wow, loco.
full comeback mechanic, you're going to be getting 4% every single in-game tick as opposed to the 3% that you get with a standard. And when you have half that comeback mechanic, it's going to be 4%.
Está fuerte.
So it's going to get a little faster here for Fnatic. They have to spend a little less time than G2, but it's nowhere near as easy as it would be if you have that comeback mechanic fully enabled for your team. So they are going to have to look at one, maybe 1.5.
Esta partida ya está más organizada. No se están viendo partidas así tan épicas de cuadra kill, nada de eso. Pero como quiera, el posicionamiento y todo eso, bueno aprender, importante. ¿What? ¿Qué hizo? Ah, se le cayó el caballo, loco. No mames. Qué mal. No sé si fue bug o fue que le dio sin querer a la tecla. Uy, Drogo, la mató. Uy, ¿por dónde salió Drogo? Creo que le capturan de nuevo, Uy, loco, ninguno. No pudo, no. Se sabe esconder muy bien, loco. Se le saben esconder, loco, muy bien. Me pegó ahí. Uy, loco, pero mira qué reacción. Mira qué velocidad de reacción tuvo ahí. Insane. Ok. G2 lo tiene un toque, ¿no? Solamente tiene que pisar el punto. Van 3-3, loco. Remontada otra vez. Remontada, loco. Remontada increíble. Ella sabía que venía el Rucos por ahí. Oh, wow. Ahí está el Drogos haciéndole presión. Está haciendo una presión increíble. Todos los otros están en el high ground. Ya lo vieron.
And critically, folks, this is where Fnatic, they can dump ultimates into the push because they know if they get this 3-3 to a 3-4 in their favor,
están 3-3,
not just the game, but the set as well. Attention is mounting for G2 Esports.
La mató antes de la ulti, loco. Wow. Él estaba seguro que le iba a matar y por eso se quedó ahí, incluso.
A minute and 30 seconds still left on the clock. 3-3 and ults recharged or full charged here for Fnatic as they're setting themselves up.
Uy, Ruko se la comió toda esa, Se comió toda esa. Esos misiles. Uy, la ulti de Víctor. Oh. Ah, no. Ultea. Ulti el Drogos. Se lleva la Inara, se lo llevó Víctor. Loco, tan cerquita. ¡Ah! Ganó Fnatic, loco. No, se le hicieron, loco. 3-0, loco. 3-0. No. Se fueron 3-0, loco, en esa ocasión. Increíble, loco. No, los Fanatics estaban locos on fire, loco. Esa gente estaba on fire desde el principio. Desde el principio. Me equivoqué. Dale, yo te dije, loco, Es que comenzaron demasiado encendidos, loco, en verdad. Y en verdad yo pensé que le iban a hacer le iban a remontar por lo menos ganándole una, ¿sabes? Pero wow, loco, no. Estaba demasiado fuerte, loco. Estaba demasiado fuerte, loco.
A very clean sweep there for Fnatic as
Cara de
they send
desilusión,
G2 home. Welcome back to the desk, everyone. Golden Boy alongside Kresnik and Bees.
Okay.
Man, I mean, so yes, we ended up getting the 3-3 as we had all predicted, but
3-0, loco, wow.
Like Fnatic, they were just playing into that first point a lot. They were
no
like,
pudo ni defenderse, loco.
We know that we can just blow them up on this first point. Get these caps, get these points, come right back into the game. Because that first round was a little shaky. shaky there for Fnatic. Not what we had usually seen from them in games 1 and 2. But is Bittner, man, on the Cassie, really being a difference maker toward the end there. Just so many things to take away from that game, Kresnik.
Yeah, Fnatic adapted super well as the set went on. I mean, the big game from Tenor
Los Fanatics estuvieron súper buenos ahí.
Just game changer in the focus fire on the Inara. But the very first mid, G2 took the stage area on the side by the cliff. And since they had double backline, they just poked out Fnatic. They couldn't move through any of the chokes they wanted. They got shoved out.
Sí, yo lo que pude entender ahí fue que no, los de G2 no tenían mucha idea de cómo evitar los disparos y el daño del enemigo, ¿sabes? Porque incluso cuando G2 intentaba hacerle daño con ultis o lo que sea a lo de Fnatic, era difícil porque ni siquiera lo veían, estaban muy bien escondidos detrás de las paredes, ¿sabes? Entonces eso influyó mucho. Mira que tuvieron buenos. Tuvieron buenas stats. Buenas estadísticas. Dama no hizo mucho daño, pero hizo 233.000 de curación, loco. O sea, hizo más. ¿Cuándo es la final? Cuando acaben ya todos los equipos que faltan como unos 2, 4, 6, como 8 o 10 equipos más faltan todavía. 8 o 10 equipos más, que son las eliminatorias. Ahora la van a presentar. Creo, si no me equivoco.
As the games went on and they were a little bit safer, they had the ults online, they took people out. Just became much easier for Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic were able to handle that one at the end there. They come out on top. Now they're going to go up against Na'Vi. That will be a semi-final game that I think everyone here is going to be very excited to see.
Estos, los Fnatic van a jugar contra Na'Vi. Fnatic versus Na'Vi. En este caso. En esta ocasión no, luego de todas las preliminares anteriores.
It's a New York thing, you know. So that is going to be a really, really great matchup for the semifinals tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to that one here. And Fnatic, man, they're sending all these North American team home. What's going on, man?
Yeah, it's not a great feeling. But Fnatic, I mean, they always show up, you know, like they at least online, and they always at least eliminate a few teams on their way out in previous lanes. And after, like I said, after overcoming that gap, that mental gap that they had before the qualifier land, I wouldn't be surprised to see them come in just swing in tomorrow's games.
Yeah, it is going to be awesome. Well, speaking of who was swinging, we have our Steel Series MVP, and I believe I was told
la MVP,
that it was
o sea, la partida destacada, la top lane.
This was actually a fantastic play here.
This really was when the game
started to change, and despite
Bitener. Ese main es bueno, loco. Esa fue la que se hizo la cuadra kill con Vivian. La partida con Víctor y mira cómo se hizo esa partida ahí con la pega loco, todos los disparos loco lo pega.
They expended 2 ults on top of them. They tried to use the Victor ult, they tried to use the Damber ult, achieved nothing because of it, and it just gave Fnatic such an
intentaron utilizar a Vivian, intentaron utilizar a Victor, intentaron utilizar la misma casi, pero no pudieron. Es un muy buen daño. Muy buen daño.
All right, well, we're here with Fnatic, and I mean, guys, that was pretty much surgical, like nothing, no sweat broken. How are you feeling after your win against G2?
I mean, it was sort of sad, no matter what the score looks like, G2 is a good team, and you can't underestimate any other team here. Like, they're all super good.
Está diciendo que los de G2 son muy buenos.
A lot easier than I think anybody expected. Coming into this tournament with G2 being the 2nd seed out of North America, did you guys think that it was going to be quite as clean and easy as it was?
¿Ustedes se imaginaron que iban a ser tan fácil ganar una partida? Tan fácil como fue ganar esa partida, estando en un torneo como ese.
So your next opponent is going to be Not As Vincier, a team that you have fought countless times at this point, but sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it goes their way. How exactly are you feeling going into that big of a set?
¿Cómo te sientes yendo a la próxima ronda? Básicamente dicen que todo dependerá cómo será y eso. Llevo 4 horas más que tú. Yo ya llevo más de 4 horas. ¿Tú? ¿Tienes 4 horas, loco? ¡Wow! No, yo apenas tengo como 1 o 2 horas más o menos viéndolo solamente. 1 o 2 horas solamente. Entonces, esos son los equipos que van a jugar ahora. Ok, mira, los equipos de Paladin consola incluso. Nice, Paladin Champions. Ah, el sábado. Ok, ahora mismo los de PC van a hacer estos de aquí. Estos de aquí y ya los próximos van a ser de consola. Ese de consola y no sé de qué serán eso, pero eso. Guerra de consola. Solamente hay 2 equipos que van a combatir ahí. Qué raro. Mixer, Pro Players. Está genial eso. Los patrocinadores son Mixer. Ah, mira el pollo de Rian Royal ahí que sale. Justo vuelve y ya perdió a G2. Sí, bro, sí. Sí, loco. 3-0 perdieron. 3-0. Contra Fanatics. Está fuerte.
Brought to you by Hi-Res Studios.
Ok, Hi-Res Studios.
Mixer. Alienware.
Esos son los patrocinadores.
Skillshot.
Respawn. Durable. Una silla gamer. Oh, qué innovador está eso. Sillas gamer. Respawn. Está genial. Están geniales. Ok. Estos creo que son burritos. Y no me acuerdo quiénes son. Creo que son burritos contra ellos. No sé qué equipo es ese. Ahora lo veremos. Y vamos a ver qué tal. Ok, la próxima ronda comienza en 13 minutos. Déjame a buscar algo de picar mientras esperamos. Ah, ese es el nuevo personaje. Oh, está hablando del nuevo personaje. Espera, esto está interesante. Imani se llama. Ok, work in process. Proceso de trabajo. Ah, la ulti es que está con un dragón y el dragón lanza un fuego, algo así. ¿También se puede usar el dragón? ¿Se puede usar el dragón, loco? Ah, no mames, loco. Se puede usar el dragón, loco, está genial.
Make sure they work together, and the team's done a fantastic job.
Her look, her feel, it just is a very strong feminine character. You'll really feel the magical elements as well as the strength of the character. Our animators, riggers, posers made sure that you felt the power in all of her abilities.
We've looked at a lot of kind of martial arts, but like
se viene lo chido,
having like force and directness behind her.
Something that engaged the player from like start of the cast to like hucking that element.
Uy, ¿cuánto hace de daño esa bola? Creo que hace 3000 de daño.
And really cool to play as her. We're just really excited for her to come out.
Ese creo que es su
I
ulti.
think Amani's going to be a really exciting champion, and you know, you guys should definitely get in there and check her out.
So she's crazy.
Lo que no sé qué era el dragón.
She summons dragons. Like, what more can I say?
Pero se ve genial, loco. Amazing. Awesome.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back, Paladins fans, to the Mixer Lounge.
Genial,
My name is Bart, and I am joined by, well, you all probably know this lady over here to my left. Alyssa, say hi.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching.
So we're going to talk a little bit here today about something that was kind of hinted out during Presents this morning, kind of like a community council coming together, the Assembly of Champions. So tell me a little bit more about what this is.
Right, so the Assembly of Champions is a democratically elected group of players that will kind of serve as an advisory council for the game, right? So we're going to have bi-weekly meetings, we're going to have a summit in the summer. We've always, as a studio, championed community-driven development, but this is the first time that we're doing something for this grand scale where we're going to have all platforms and demographics represented on this council.
So if I understood you correctly, it sounds like there's going to be like a seat for each platform that's the game is on, and then you're also going to have 4 or 5 or 6 people elected to this council as well.
Yes, that's right. There are 8 seats total, so 4 of those are going to be for platform specific, and then there are 4 kind of general elected delegates.
So you hinted at the council kind of meeting earlier in like a summit. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that might entail?
Right, so we'll have bi-weekly dev meetings, and this will lead up to the summit in the summer. So we're going to have workshops, panels. This is going to be an on-site summer at Evil Mojo in Atlanta, Georgia. So we're going to fly out all of the delegates at that time.
So cool. So it's a fun, exciting time to be in the studio and come to Atlanta and check it out. So while they're there, can you go into a little bit more detail about like kind of how this assembly is going to impact developers and kind of the future of the game and how people should think about representing their platform?
So we're going to be unveiling a lot of work in progress content to the council, right? So things that balance that's upcoming, features that are upcoming that may or may not happen, kind of to get their opinion before they even go into full-on development or before they're revealed to the public. One good thing about also having individual delegates for each platform is that we can get that platform-specific feedback. So if something is really concerning Switch players or PS4 players or Xbox players, we can get that feedback directly from the delegate, and they're going to represent their entire community.
Got it. I mean, that sounds pretty exciting thing to be a part of. You know, one of the things that was really interesting to me during Presents this morning also is kind of this commitment to monthly patches within Paladins. And so how do you see like the Assembly of Champions kind of
Okay, la próxima partida comienza en 8 minutos.
Yeah, so we announced the hunt earlier today, and that's actually a big thing that the Assembly of Champions is going to help with. So during these bi-weekly meetings, we're kind of going to see what are the biggest concerns for the community right now. What do you guys feel about the direction of the game? And we're going to take that feedback when we commit to our next project for the hunt for the next cycle.
Awesome. So it's a really great opportunity to get involved with all things Paladins. So I guess finally, can you give me a sense of like how you can get involved and how folks in the community should think about applying to get elected?
Yeah, so applications are open right now on paladins.com/AOC. You have to be at least 18 years old, but other than that, anyone can apply. You just kind of put which platform you're on, and then the applications will close January 1st, and then in January, that's when the community at large will vote on who they want to be their delegates.
So for like the 10 or 20 Paladins fans out there that aren't already following you on social media, where can they find you?
Evil Mojo Alyssa.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much, guys. One final note here is that there is Realm Royale tournaments going on all day here live from the DreamHack Show floor.
Okay.
$25,000 on the line. Sign up and play today. That does it from the Mixer Lounge for this segment. Have fun watching Paladins.
Ok, están poniendo repeticiones. Ajá. Can you feel me? Está buena esa canción. Ah, loco, el copyright, la puta madre. Ah, el copyright, loco, no mames. Me cae el copy, loco, de una vez. Me cae el copy de una vez, loco. Ya, esa canción tan bella, loco. Esa canción que tanto me gusta. Ahí fue que se hizo la cuadra aquí con Liam. Pam, pan. Pum, pum. Ah, no fue ahí. Fue en la otra, en la próxima. Ahí. Ah, no, eso fue Androx. A ver, que hizo Androx, hizo una doble ahí. Una doble. 1, 2, 3. Ah, no. No, una doble fue que se hizo. Ah, sí, ahora ahí terminó con el Grover luego. Pero ahí este se hizo una cuadra aquí, loco, con Lian, loco. Buenísima. Velocidad de reacción increíble que tiene, mira. Velocidad de reacción increíble, inhumana, loco. Something in the air, I will something. Oh, no. El copyright, papá, me cae el copyright. Ok. Se están viendo las repeticiones, chicos. Antes de que comience la partida. Comienza en 5 minutos la próxima. Vamos a ver. Uno ahí. Otro ahí. Otro ahí. No, ese men es buenísimo, loco. Y casi se hace la triple ahí. Incluso fue que no le dio la granada, pero la Ivy también tuvo muy buena. Uy, mira esa ulti, loco, en el aire. Le pegó ahí. Uf. No es que sean pros, sino que tienen mouse de marca. puede ser eso. Gravity, ¿qué tal, bro? ¿Todo bien? ¿Qué tal, mi hermanito? ¿Qué es lo que tú dices, mi hermano? Dámelo. Muerto ahí. Uf. Tiene mouse de marca. Eso explica todo. Eso explica todo. Pero los mouse no te dan manos. pero influyen mucho. Ok. 4 minutos. 4 minutos comienza la próxima. ¿Verdad? Los Fnatic jugaron muy bien. Los de G2 casi no pudieron hacer muchas cosas que digamos, en verdad. Muerto ahí. Uf. ¿Y cómo Víctor mató a esa a través del escudo? No entendí ahí. Pero bueno. En especial los tipos de competencias influyen demasiado así, sí. Sí, incluso ahí vi que ellos tenían unas alfombrillas, loco, enormes. Yo necesito comprarme una alfombrilla más grande, porque la mía es chiquitica. Un cuadrito solamente. Tengo que comprarme una decente. Una alfombrilla decente. Uf, mira ahí. Esa ulti de Drogos para Linara, se la llevó. Uy, loco, casi se lo lleva a todos ahí. Si no por... No sé si esta canción también tiene copyright, pero... Me la bajo porque... No lo sé. En especial en los tipos de competencia, todos los pros tienen mouse que tienen sensor 3336. O sus variaciones de otras marcas. Sí. Tienen buenos sensores, tú dices. Para la velocidad de reacción y eso, ¿no? Sí, yo supongo que uno de esos patrocinadores le entregan todos esos materiales de mouse, teclado, la alfombrilla, todo eso. Uy, ahí atrás. Ahí la mató justo ahí. Una ulti en toda la cara le pegaron ahí. Qué fuerte. Esa estuvo muy buena, porque incluso ahí la le voltear y él se quedó ahí parado, le siguió disparando porque estaba seguro que le iba a matar. 1, a ver, no falla, loco, se me en 2 y casi 3. Ahí mismo ganaron. Aceleración, que el mouse se va más a donde quieres. Ok. Somos para que no tenga aceleración, que el mouse se va a donde quiera. Ok, sí. Se mamó la ulti. Se puso molesto. Sí. Ok, ahora sí. Ahora sí se puede escuchar. Y si te fijas, y si te fijas, los de las competencias usan audífonos de celular. Algunos. Los de la competencia, o sea, los jugadores, ¿o qué? Ok, solo algunos usan los de patrocinador. Ok, ya entiendo. ¿Te refieres a eso, los cascos?
Okay. So, well, let's dive into this one here. There's no doubt that this is going to be a
los competidores, ok, te refieres a eso.
These two teams, lots of experience, lots of talent.
¿Por qué será eso?
Both are teams that have
¿Por qué será
a
eso?
lot of pressure on their DPS, or like their DPS are kind of like the biggest performers on their team. But I think beyond the DPS, Envy is the team.
¿Será que no les gusta lo que los de los patrocinadores?
In North America, Toki is an exceptional tank. Like in general, they're a more well-rounded team, I think, beyond the DPS. Unlike Kanga, which I think is very focused on minimum core lane.
So the DPS is the core of Kanga. Do you agree with that, Bitey?
I mean, I got to know them over the last week, and I've been hanging out with them a lot. I'd say that they are
no puedo comentar, se puso la hueá lenta. En serio, dame ver si.
And unity that they show doing all that they can together. I mean, if you talk to Hayes, he prepares them for every single engagement, and their drafting is always on point.
No es porque no les guste, sino porque los del celular a veces son jugadores, sino porque los del celular a veces son mejores que... ok, a veces son mejor que los de patrocinador, ok, entiendo. Aunque ahí la mayoría, casi todos tienen los de patrocinadores. Tienen a un chino, ya, GG, ya ganaron. Ya ganaron muy a ellos. Ya ganaron.
This is a team that has never looked
as
dominant as they have, right now, especially in this region.
Porque usas Jack 3.5.
Is it realistic that they could win the Paladins World Championship? Are we thinking that far out for this team, or do you really think that, well, the dream's going to end here with Kanga?
I don't think it's unrealistic.
¿Qué equipo es ese?
They've beaten these teams before, at least some of them in Vegas. This is a meta that I think is very good for them. I think they struggle in metas where they have to flex to triple DPS, and this is one where that I don't want to say it's completely dead, but it's looking pretty close.
Okay, and then also another elephant in the room.
Skill shot.
These players have, I believe, everyone
on skill shot el que está patrocinando. Yo creo que decía Free Fire cuando lo vi así de repente.
The players on Envy have actually competed at like a Paladins World Championship before.
Referee. Ese es referee.
I mean, they did show up at the Vegas event and dominated there, so they have done lands of this caliber before, but they have
world championship.
Yeah, not a world champion setting, but I believe that setting. I wouldn't say it so much. I mean, it is more on the line for them, but as a team like Envy,
quién sabe, pero tienen un chino, ya ganaron a la verga. Sí. Eso fue que dije.
And this is where they've shown that they can take it as far as possible. I mean, I think they were the runners-up to one of our last major events too.
Yeah. So then in that case, then discussing.
En ese caso, Casi Kanga. ¿Qué crees tú que van a...? Ah, Rock Monkey, loco. Es el Team Envy. Ese es Envy. Ay, loco, este equipo bueno. Y algunas marcas de audio profesionales de audio están haciendo audios gamer sin micrófono, porque tienen una calidad mejor que los normales, aunque sí son más caros. Oh, pues mira.
I mean, Envy's a team that's really hard to play against because of the way that they are able to just kind of dominate drafting. And I think a lot of that contributes to Butcher studying and then getting his team to then perform on those picks that they believe will be the choice of their
team. Es difícil que se vean esas de que cuadra kill en una partida competitiva, en un torneo así, pero como quiera se hace, increíble. Pero comparando, por ejemplo, un Razer Chroma con unos buenos de marca, como que sí, seguro lo hacen de mejor calidad. Ayuda. Ah, mira el chino. Mira el chino. Ya ganaron, ya ganaron.
Grok pick or the Grover pick, or you see the importance of Inara and how that plays in, especially for the European region.
Ya ganaron, güey.
Map 1, it is going to be Stone Keep here.
Kanga y Sport contra Envy. Envy versus Kanga y Sport.
On Envy's pick, Stone Keep.
Está mirándome. Ah. Te vio, loco. Ya te vio.
As good as some other maps could be. I think this is
Stop
going to be,
keep.
if they want to play a keep composition, it's going to be
okay, van a seleccionar el mapa ahora. El que van a jugar.
I think the biggest thing is figuring out the bans that are thrown out. I would say that Kanga's strongest thing is their draft in general. Hayes usually has such a tight lid on that. I kind of think it's almost like a good draft.
Juega sin ver la pantalla.
Versus Hayes in terms of what is optimal for them, and it all starts with these bans. You know, are we going to see the?
Él mueve el teclado con los pies.
Is it going to be a Khan and a Fernando or a Makoa? Like,
y el mouse con la nariz.
An open book in terms of what the teams are going to bring out right at the start.
Kanga o Konga.
Here for those of you guys just joining us, welcome to the Paladins World
Pues
Championship
ni sé, güey.
2018. We've settled,
pues
the
ni
dust
sé,
is settled,
güey.
I should say, on our first two quarterfinal matchups. Navi looking to go back and
yes, avivarse. Envy a Kanga, es Kanga.
For Spunky at the very least.
Vamos a ir de Konga.
You have Fnatic who
Konga suena más bonito.
on Envy Kanga. A big matchup
Kanga,
with two fan-favorite squads. The bands come through. You got the Androxus, you got the Khan. For Envy, on the other side, Kanga decided to take out
Kanga versus
I don't
Envy.
think you noticed how
Envy
fast
versus
those
Kanga.
Very quick.
Envy just came in with a plan.
I was trying to finish that whole spiel. I was trying to hurry, and they picked it.
Han baneado a Androxus y banearon a Khan, los de Envy. Y han baneado a Torvald y a Makoa. Fernando como primer pick. Esto va a ser interesante. Fernando el primer pick.
I'm kind of curious to see what Kanga's going to respond with and then see Envy.
El equipo está perdiendo, es hora de mirar la pantalla grande. Sí. A ver qué es lo que está pasando. A Jink, loco. Están jugando mucho con Jink últimamente. Están jugando mucho con Jink. Mira el chino de nuevo. Ah, le estaba enfocando muchísimo el chino.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, but...
No, I think, I mean, if you want to blow them up, right? If you just want to blow up the Inara, but you're going to get the Cassie, maybe, do you get the Drogos here?
Cassie's almost just as good.
Okay. Tienen a Rukus, Cassie y Rukus.
Cassie's also really good at blowing up Inara with the big game, and it also denies value from the other tanks, because she can, it's not just the one and done like the Drogos punch, she gets disengaged with the right build very quickly. She can, you know, mark the Inara, by the time you burn the Inara, your disengage is back up. They have an Ash, now you're doing 1,000 damage arrows to that too.
There is no middle ground.
Really good, a lot you can do with the Cassie pick on this one.
Una Lian. Una Ash como segundo segundo tanque, perfecto.
Well, I think it's a really great foundation. Oh
Eevee.
my goodness, we're getting an Eevee out there. So I don't know if they're going to be rocking any Drogus in this game. I mean, it comes down to Kanga whether they want to click it or not. But I mean, from what it looks like, Envy's leaning on this Eevee, and Random Noob's going to be dominant on that. We just have to see if Kanga's able to withstand that power. They did okay against Fnatic, but I'm not sure if they're ready for what Envy's going to be bringing out.
Ok, tienen doble daño. Uy. Han cogido a Eevee. Están picando mucho a Eevee también, he visto. A Rukus. Bueno, esos mismos picks hicieron en la partida anterior casi. No es que tenga un buen win rate, en verdad, pero... ¿A quién van ustedes? ¿A qué personaje van ustedes? ¿A qué equipo van ustedes, perdón? ¿A qué equipo van ustedes?
Is he talking about us? He's got the wrong guy.
Is that you?
I don't know. I like what you're doing with
the
top deck.
Wait, you're Rain Day? Oh my God, I'm such a big fan. Can you sign my everything,
Sure,
please?
Do you have the book? I'll sign it.
Go
get your note. I'll sign it.
Right here.
All right, we'll do it after the show. Here, starting off, and it's
¿Eres tu Red Day? ¿Me haces un autógrafo? Hazlo aquí en mi t-shirt. Ok, aquí comienza. Próxima partida.
Monkey. Gonna be piloting her. You know, I still like Kanga's calm more, honestly. I like the pressure which they have. I like the denial from Dead Zone. The really big thing that they have to do is try and shut down the Eevee, because that's the win condition right now for Envy for me. But again, we've said this before and we've seen this before. When there's an Eevee and a Cassie, the Eevee provides visible pressure, the Cassie provides hidden pressure. The Cassie is the one that you really have to watch out for once you're distracted from the Eevee. So as long as Kanga have good focus in the position,
la batalla de bots más épicas que veré. Sí. Los caster y el observador que está viendo la partida. Uy. ¿Qué es eso? Ah, ya comenzó, loco. Ni cuenta me ha dado. Pero loco, pero comenzó fuerte. Uy, se lo llevaron, loco, a todos. Se llevan a los Kanga. Kanga is dead. Le pegaron ahí a la Willow. Están dando la verdadero soneo. Uy, se llevaron a la Eevee. Están bucheando de nuevo. Están metiéndose en el punto de una, loco. Eso quieren acabar rápido, loco, ¿verdad? Déjame ver. Estos equipos así. Incluso el espectador me los mata. Pues sí, güey. Willow, murió Willow. Tomaron a Willow. Ok, ya tienen el punto, loco. Kango tienen el punto, los Kango. Ah, no, están capturando, siguen capturando. Uy, no. No se llevan al punto, ¿no? Envy se lleva la... Va a capturar el punto.
And again, what Kanga Esports do there was just not adapt, right? They went in with a plan. They said, we'll do what we expect to do, which is stick the arrow and play around it. You need to be adjusting. You need to have dynamic
positioning. Siguen ahí, se los mata a Willow todos. Pero mira, la Eevee está haciendo un buen soneo ahí para que no vayan por ahí, por el high ground. Uy, tumbaron a la Inara. Se van a Willow ahí. Está haciendo una presión increíble, loco, ahí. Ahí está Rock Monkey pegándole muchísimo. La Inara se va en esta vuelta. Uy, se la llevaron. Uy, se lo lleva, a la Willow al Fernando. Uy, se salvó con nada de vida, loco, Fernando ahí en esa ocasión. Está retrocediendo para reagruparse. Todavía tienen muchísimo tiempo. Tienen 1 minuto y 15 segundos para poder retomar. Y mira dónde está el carrito ya. O sea que ya fácilmente capturan ahí. Y están en la zona muerta, así que no tiene curación mientras esté eso así. Ah, pero ya lo curaron, ahí regresa, vamos a ver. Porque está fuerte. Están haciendo una presión increíble para capturar el punto, pero ahí están defendiendo muy bien los de Kanga. Uy, casi tiene la del escudo. Tiene rueca.
And they've done such a good job, Fox, and we kind of joke about it here and there, but the suppression has truly been, I think, the theme, and that's a great word to describe it.
Uy, la Ash. Ay, mira, está en una zona peligrosa y ahí si la Ash hubiese querido lo hubiese tumbado a todos. Pero igual no quería quizás salirse de su curación. Uy, loco, se salvó a pura chepa, loco. Lo de Kanga andaba de vida, loco, juro que sí. Kanga.
But they do elapse their ultimate in response.
Hats off to Chronix, because my goodness gracious, I cannot believe that they kept that front line alive. It was a huge demand for healing at that moment, but he's one of those veteran players. You talk about a Kanga team that's constantly lost their momentum, Vox, and obviously Joel's and Chronix, two of the only original 5 to remain.
Absolutely, and importantly, that was able to pump out all that
perdió el momento. Pero mira, lo defendió muy bien ahí.
And that's what I'm looking for now for Kanga Esports to really use to take an advantage over this next round. Current ult economy does go the way of Team Envy, but they haven't got the Immortal, and they've got a Scout, right? That's pretty much a free ultimate. It's a dead one. Cassie has movement speed to get a reveal, but beyond that, I'm looking for the fake
cómo lo hacen ahora.
illusory rift. I'm looking for the seismic crash setup.
And you do have to look at the obviously the little component we don't talk about, the CC immunity on the Scout. If Rock Monkey's going to use it here, it's preemptive, so he won't get it now. But if the seismic crash did hit, he could have gotten out of that one. Neither here nor there. Big dead zone. Toki forced to move to the right. That's the 2 tanks holding Cathedral. Now they think they've won the fight, but this is what Envy are doing. They want this top ground so much that they're willing to give up 57%.
Uy, se llevan a Maldamba ahí. Se llevan a la Lian, a la Cassie. Uy, se salvó, loco. Uy, se salvó por la ulti de Fernando, loco. No, loco. Uy, le pegó. What the fuck? ¿Cómo le pegó? Uy, loco, está fuerte lo que me parece. Esa partida está reñida.
And I think at this point, Kanga Esports have a long way back.
They got to try and get on there. It is 60% towards them, 87% for Team Envy, and now Inara is back. But again, here comes the brand. Here comes the beautiful impasse.
Se la hizo, loco. Le puso la pared, ultió y le quitó la pared antes de que se lanzara su ulti. Ok, Envy la tiene. Envy está a un toque de capturar. De que se acaba su... Capturaron de nuevo. Sal de ahí, mijo. Sal de ahí, mijito.
They're that good. Nothing can go to waste. And I think Kanga have actually looked decent. They defended. This one doesn't look like it's going to be the same because there's a lot of momentum right now. But if Random Nude keeps this up, Kanga will be worried.
Uy, se vio la gente voceando. Uy, loco, estaba un toque. Uy, muerta la Ash. GG Willow. Uy, se lo llevó y se quedó con vida, loco, incluso.
That's just insult to injury. It is.
Está insano, loco.
Second Hexafire into a Willow up in the air that we've seen.
I dig it though.
I like it.
There were 2 things I love to take down a Willow in the air. It's Leon using Presence and then immediately just uses Enlightenment, because how do you dodge that? And then it's also just Hexafires. Deal with that airborne threat. No more dead zone. 2-1 right now.
Leon.
For the conversion.
Muerta la Leon. Muere la Ash. Bueno, señores, Envy está on fire. On fire time, una cuadra kill se hizo la Eevee, loco, no mames. Una cuadra kill se hizo, loco, no mames. Esa cuadra kill, compadre.
It's unfortunate because I think I'd like to know as well.
You hear ban out
Estuvo bueno.
pool of champions, and then I'm hearing coming through again that
there aren't enough bans, right? We were considering adding 12 bans.
Esta gente pro poner spray luego de ganar. Mira el chinito, mira el chinito.
No, that might be into the next one, folks, but let's take a look at the INAP instant replay and see exactly what was happening there. It was random noob, and I think this must have been the start of that, that quadra kill that came on through.
That was beautiful timing. He dukes it. He stays below the box.
Uno,
tres, dos, responds with about 850 of his own. Gets up to the high ground. Notice that wormhole, able to
y el último la cuadra.
But just hits 2 shots. Now it's Envy with a chance to close out game 1. Fox, look at this fireball potential. 761 into the back line, and now all of Kanga Esports.
Tiene potencial ese fuego ahí. Muerto ahí. Ese bonus del fireball de Fernando ahí.
Has been playing out of his mind. Rock Monkey and Rubu, who would have thought that last November these two were on an amateur team in Paladins, beating SK
Equipo
Gaming.
amateur.
Is that a mop up on Team Envy's behind the desk right there? Because that just cleaning
Ay, no le pegó.
right now.
Se le fue, se le fue.
They brought that brooms, they brought the mobs.
Uy, entró al punto loco al pedo, eh.
69% for Team Envy trying to make a stand so desperately.
Well, how do you figure here? There's too much damage on the board. Rubu and Tolkien are operating as damage flexes. There's no way
bueno,
to concede this
bueno, Ash, te veo feo. No, que se le hicieron. Se la hicieron, loco. Es GG para él.
Giving NA its first game win of the day. I think that's refreshing to a lot of fans.
Yeah, that's a little bit different to what we saw earlier. Right?
Su primera victoria del juego.
Yeah, Box, you got me on there. I can't
1-0.
I mean, I can't say anything.
Vamos a ver cómo continúa esto.
He says with Ascot and top hat.
You know, a little bit confident, but Kanga Esports definitely need to do some reworking of their thinking right there. And overall, I mean, I liked Kanga's draft. You had everything you needed to be able to deal with that Eevee. But their positioning to start off with wasn't good, and they couldn't adapt in time.
Well, let's see what went wrong for Kanga and what went right for Team Envy.
Okay.
A lot of things, evidently. I mean, Envy just rolled through Kanga, and you had mentioned that the fight would be for the keep, right? Like just really trying to hold high ground, like those are going to be the important things. But Envy, they knew it. They played it really well.
Yeah, they had the better tanks for it.
Envy sabían que jugaban muy bien.
Phenomenal performance. That was absolutely so dominant.
Ese comienzo de partida fue muy intenso, en verdad.
And it showed like they blocked them out of keep, and they had they had 2 characters that wanted to be up there. They wanted to be firing down, and Envy just said no.
Yeah, and I do think it's funny you mentioned the Fernando, because Fernando has, like, everyone keeps picking Fernando, and the entire time, you know, I'm watching, and, you know, obviously, noob, and I'm thinking to myself, why do they keep prioritizing
Oye,
this
y ese anuncio, la verga, ¿cuál anuncio, bro?
It was very clear that reasons like that, Bitey, those are the reasons why you want a Fernando in that game.
Y ponen express los hijos de...
Kirman,
¿qué tal, bro? Ese anuncio, ¿cómo así, bro?
Gave up the keep completely, which would be probably the play that they needed to keep pressuring for. But you saw they take control of point. They actually start getting some kills.
Increíble, loco, la partida.
And it actually stops all of their momentum. And what I made on the note here is, like, it looks like Kanga's just kind of like running out of ideas to keep control going, whereas
Mira, que lo
Envy,
hicieron
with
muy
all their
bien,
experience
incluso,
and
¿no?
preparation, kind of look like they just keep
Hicieron
going
bastante
further,
daño los de...
okay, well, we lost 2.
Los de... Ah, mira el chino otra vez.
No, 2 left. Well,
los de Kanga.
Clutch, and then all of a sudden Kanga's off the point and cleared back out again.
Yeah, you could see their
absolute
connection and how their experience showing their ults. Every ult from Envy, or at least maybe 99% of them, looked so clean. Like, it was saving somebody at, like, when they were about to die, guaranteeing a push, countering another ult. They always had the answer for what Kanga was trying to do.
And it just
lo que Kanga intenta hacer.
Preparation, right? Preparation. That is the #1 thing here. here that's something that meta pushers, like a big...
Ahí tienen su beso, guapos.
No pun intended, I guess. And,
ahí tienen su beso.
That just really shows. But your MVP is going to be Random Noob on that Eevee, or just, I mean, yeah.
Toma.
Actually,
Uno,
I would say the Cassie
dos,
was pretty good that game too.
dos,
I mean, it's kind of like a give and take thing. They both bring so much to the field. But the thing
tres,
is that if your Eevee doesn't take off, it doesn't perform at
y
the
la
level
última,
that Random Noob's able to. Like,
cuadra kill, loco.
And the execution it takes to play a good Eevee is very high. Whereas Cassie, like a lot of people...
Sí, Eevee le hizo presión toda la partida, loco. Incluso no dejaban ni siquiera que se acercara. ¡Oh!
Fair enough. It's more in the execution.
¿Cómo sabía él que ese estaba ahí, loco?
Can't appreciate there. Let's see if Random Noob's going to have a game like that into game 2.
Un kill de assistant de 4.0.
Where does Kanga take us?
I already got an idea. They may take, I think Timbermill wasn't banned there. They love
Vamos a ver qué medidas van a tomar Kango ahora para todo eso.
It's kind of like their specialty. So
Lo que pasó en esa primera partida.
a bogus map,
Pero igual la primera partida define mucho lo que cómo va a terminar, la verdad.
it's not lumber season.
Puede que haya muchos cambios, pero define mucho lo que puede a pasar en la partida.
There's logic in that. It is not the season to chop trees down. Makes perfect sense.
That could be a great map for them, though. I think. I mean, they like I said, they like their hit scan, their backlines, and that's a map for that. You know?
Well, let's find out what it is. Send it over to the map pick, and it is
Ascension Pick.
You're wrong.
El próximo mapa es Ascension
It's
Pick.
just like Timbermill, except it's actually a better map altogether.
Okay.
And technically, like, it is actually pretty popular in NA, I'd say. I like the map. It's got good flow, got good things going for it, so it's not as uncommon as you think.
Tiene un buen flow el mapa, dice.
You know, you pick the uncommon map that you don't see as much, and I'm sure Hades has in his booklet there. They don't pick it very much.
And I think you had mentioned it in the previous series that instead of Ice Mines,
vamos a ver.
maybe, you know, G2 could have taken
Vamos a ver
two
cómo sale
Ascension
esta
Peak. What makes
partida,
Ascension Peak so different?
la próxima partida, a ver cómo le va.
From
A ver cómo les va.
It's Ascension.
Timbermill.
It's easier to cap, I would say, on that. Like, and if not as easy as some other maps, it's definitely easier than Ice Mines. But if you have a great execute going into the last point, you could flip it. It's about taking different angles and poking. The massive sightlines on the map will again play towards their strengths with the backlines, the hit scans. You can play snipers on this map. There's a lot of things you can do on this map.
Tú puedes están hablando que en este mapa, en Ascension Peak, tú puedes hacer muchísimas cosas. Puedes ir sniper, puedes lo que tú quieras, muchísimas cosas. Se puede hacer muchas cosas en este mapa. Vamos a ver a quiénes banean.
Because in NA, they're really popular. I mean, I've got one of the best in the world, and Vocal, wherever you are, I'm showing you
A ver los bans.
Like,
Torvald. Banearon a Torvald
like
con un primer ban.
And then there's also things that kind of just
Los
deal
de
with them.
Kanga.
If you line of sight a sniper, they can't really contribute to the fight. So it's not necessarily always a safe pick. This is a map where you could run it and be really efficient with it. However, I bet
Banearon a Makoa.
draft logic whether they do it
Makoa.
or not. And it all comes down to
Torvald y Makoa.
Well, Torvald is banned first for Kanga, then you're going to have the
A
Makoa,
Cassie.
followed by the
Banearon a
Cassie
Cassie.
from Kanga. That is I'm okay with that ban.
Yeah, after how Rock Monkey
Estoy de acuerdo con
I
este
can
ban.
see why they would do it, but I
Y
don't
banearon a
know
Kanga.
if that's going to limit Rock Monkey. I mean, he's such a flexible player. He can play so much all across the board.
Well, they do get the Leon.
Leon, the
so
first
Leon
pick.
locked in.
I just don't know about a Leon that early when there's an Anara, but
Mejor de
again,
5.
maybe these teams got more logic than I do when it comes to drafting, and
Best
that's why they
of
got a
5.
little further.
Especially with the big game off the table. Anara
Bale
would have more
5.
value.
You
with
hear
that
the
out.
pain in your voice, by the way.
It's okay, I've been shouted
Bale
out plenty of times by these casters talking about me.
Every time they're like, yeah, and you see when they absolutely stomped SK Gaming, and you're just like, oh boy, like that got dark really
I've
quickly.
got two of my rivals up here. We've got Uber and Rock Monkey on Envy, and then we've got
Piqueando.
Kanga right here.
Every time a caster mentions an SK defeat, one
Fernando.
teardrop for Bitey.
Honestly, I'm just glad my
Fernando le hace un buen counter a Leon, ¿verdad? Si va de tanque agresivo. Incluso Androxus también. Le hace un buen counter.
In his own self-pity. Okay, so the Fernando, Envy, and Droxus, Nando, and
Ah, mira
Envy
la
are gonna see some
bandera que
action
tiene en
here.
la gorra.
And the Fernando pick, yet yet again for Envy, I mean, yeah, it worked out for them before, and here comes Inara for Kanga, so we're kind of seeing shades of what we saw in game one.
I feel like Envy took this Nando and Androxus, and they're like, we don't need Inara. We know how to play against Inara. You can take this. We're going to keep picking what we need rather than what the stats might say is successful.
Wow.
Go for the
comfort picks, don't necessarily go for the meta picks.
Yes.
To me, this says that they're not confident in Kanga's Inara play. To me, this says they're just like, this is like a disrespect thing, right? Take Inara, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll just walk all over it.
I dare you. That's what Envy's saying. I dare you to take the Inara. And Kanga, I mean, they could play that to their advantage, right? Maybe a little bit of overconfidence on Envy's side. The Ruckus and the Maldamba have been chosen, and the Ash on the other side for Kanga just locked in.
Al otro lado de Kanga. Así, loco. Uy, esto yo tengo que verlo, loco. Esto yo tengo que verlo, loco. Ahora me gustó. A Ivy. ¿Cómo será Ivy contra Sin? A ver.
Some good picks here.
Esto hay que verlo, loco.
Well. All right, what do we got here? Bitey, who are you feeling?
Well, I'm always going to be feeling Envy. I like this Zen pick. I think it'll bring a lot, but you're going to have Envy just running at him and diving, and they're going to try to overwhelm everything.
I think Kanga has too many strong picks, honestly. I would give this to Kanga.
Mira el chino.
All right, well, it seems like the desk is split. Who is going to take game number 2? Let's send it over to your casters. You got Vox and Randy on the call yet again.
Thanks, Golden Boy. I'm kind of split here, too. I mean, the Eevee surprised me. I know Random Noob was looking good, but 2 flanks?
I'm thrown off entirely. See, my entire spiel going through this draft is like, wow, we're going to see like maybe a Drogo's come in last because Kanga typically doesn't play flanks. They played 4 total during their online PGS phase. They played barely any flanks during the placement round, and now they plot this in, and I'm going, oh, well, that's my entire talking point kind of gone here, but really...
Ok, está diciendo que los de Kanga básicamente no suelen utilizar flancos. Ellos van incluso, fueron una vez 4 tanques, una vez. Quiero ver las barajas. Quiero ver las barajas.
That's a really big thing, actually. A really big thing, but, you know, Envy going completely against it. I mean, Eevee, Androxus, Fernando, Ruckus, those are so aggressive.
Ahora me está mostrando la baraja, porque
the really big thing about mentioning that Fortress Breaker, folks, is that it really converts Ash from being this sort of like aggressive frontline to more of a point tank. Now Kanga Esports, they have a lot more point pressure, but they don't have the aggression they might have had. They don't have the, the ability to force their way into the enemy's backline.
El chinito va de Ruckus.
39% on the objective. Things have kind of gotten off to a pretty fast start. Goki looks like he could go down. He's really splitting hairs here with his health.
Hay que salir ahí.
At this point, he's only got 1,300 left to
Va a ser
take.
curado.
He's been bursted down, but not out. Jules has to get away, and Osrino finds the first blood on to Rubu.
Se llevó al aire.
So this has helped Kanga find some advantage. Maybe they can push Envy out completely.
This time around, I think it is a little bit different from what we saw in Stonekeep, purely because this map is
Está la Ivy contra el Sin, loco.
You're not seeing everybody try and control that heat area, and as a result,
se lo llevaron ahí.
Team Envy's frontline pressure has a little bit less of an effect, and you have Inara and Ying on the objective. 99% rolls.
Sin dando presión ahí.
You get the first capture.
Muchísima presión.
But again, for me, that's kind of expected.
Right. I mean, where was the fight there?
So let's talk about why that fight really didn't happen, Evan. Let's talk about the utility that Kanga Esports comp brings to the table right now. They got a little bit of distraction prowess from Zin right here, but I'm looking towards the Inara.
Lo ultió ahí.
Beautiful spike comes through to finish off Ruben.
Buena.
Shield remover in game, by the way, for Fernando. But they also have this early game anti-heal pressure, which is coming through from Yan. And that's the big thing. It's this balance of utility right now that Kanga Esports have. Team Envy, if they had maybe a Victor instead of an Androxus, they
mira, Rock Monkey que está con Andro. Se la hizo, lo acabó. Ya lo mataron ahí. No la quieren matar para que tarde más en reagruparse, claro.
Off to an incredible race, but then now slowing down. Falling short of what they expected here on the Ascension Peak.
Las ganas de buscar kills no hubiese dejado hacer eso.
Down under, love finding these obscure maps. Ascension Peak would qualify, although it's probably the most normal of
Uy, tumbaron a Inara ahí.
They want to make it weird, and this is the acceptable boundary of weird right now. I hope we get some real weird in there. You know,
están agrupando, Sin está cogiendo el high ground.
But hopefully you won't have to wait that long before we might see a Timber come through. But either way, Kanga Esports trying to find a way on.
Uy, le pegó al... Se lo lleva. Uy, a los dos, doble kill, loco. Qué heavy.
looking pretty good on the Zen, and I think this flank is working a little bit better than the Eevee and the Androxus today.
Yomi, by the way.
Dicen que Sin es un flanco que puede servir mucho más que Eevee y Androxus hoy en día.
Again, if it was paired with a Victor or paired with a Cassie, you'd have that kind of ability to blow people up. But you don't have that, and now you're very close to conversion. Corlin almost has Slide available again. Up goes the counter.
Pero que andan con doble flanco. Andan doble flanco y no tienen un daño así directamente. Pero bueno, le hicieron por lo menos. Se le hicieron. Ah, ok, están cogiendo el high ground. Entraron a la base para coger el high ground. Y aprovechar el high ground ahí. Puede hacerle presión. ¡Oh! Mira ese headshot, loco. No mames.
1040 in, half his life. I thought this man was, you know, just ready to go out and have some adventures, travel the world.
So I'm predicting that we're going to see some Havens picked up by Kanga Esports. I'm not sure why I'm getting that inclination or that indication right there.
I'm not sure why. Maybe
some of the blue items might be a little bit more valuable as time goes by. You got to remember, right, folks, especially everybody watching at home, Androxus does have reticle bloom. You do have that crosshair bloom when you fire rapidly, unless you're resetting your shots. So
los sprays.
Predicted headshots like that with such good accuracy come through on the first shot in the clip.
Yeah.
But when they can make effects like that, I mean, it's all worth it.
And that guy right there, Rock Monkey, we talked about him almost getting MVP. Random noob, obviously, on the Eevee, outdid himself. But Rock Monkey, it's going on.
Wow.
It is a scary, scary thought. He found that double kill mid-round, and he thought, might be warming up here now.
Dame ver el mazo de cartas que tienen con
could have finally found their rhythm.
Quick shout, top damage in Ara, by the way, when you have a Leon on the board.
Welcome to Ascension Peak.
I love Ascension Peak. This is my new give me Ice Mines or give me death. Either way, let's look at the positioning which Kanga Esports and Team Envy are taking, trying to look for this flank. Very aggressive pressure from Fernando to begin with, and I love how much further advanced they are. Rock Monkey goes up, has
Sabía que voltear. Uy, se le fue el Sin.
I think that's enough. That's kind of a win, right?
Ah, mira, se la hizo ahí, se la hizo.
Into the backline, Rubu has to make it
se la hizo
from this. 48% has been given up to Kanga, but for what? Suddenly, it seems like Tolkien is now trying to reverse his action. He's getting in the air. Zen catches him out, and now Team Envy are without a man.
And Corlin survives as well. Ridiculous stuff coming through.
Se le fue.
Get a safety right now, but again, the control is just all in favor of Kanga Esports, and part of that is to do with the fact that you've got this early game pressure.
Uy, 15 de vida, loco.
Has 15 health. Has 0 health.
El Andro.
But again, you'll want Androxus versus an Inara.
Liga lo mató.
There's not much you can do with those big bodies.
Well, let's look at the stagger here. That's beautiful from Toki. Tries
Adios,
to go in front
Rukus.
of it. It's going to allow Rubu to, if he wants to, touch on the objective, but I don't think he's going to be able to stay alive. Too much damage from Ninum. Not enough of a snowball. Rock Monkey almost did it. I think if he found 3 there, it would have been enough, but it is not. Kanga Esports take their second capture objective of the game, and they're 600.
Es su segunda captura sobre el juego. Uy, Sin loco se la pegó ella misma. El Andro contra la Lian y la Jin.
I mean, Ninum is very comfortable on Leon. We already know that, and now the fact that Random Noob TV is just kind of going into this matchup without a lot of confidence, with a little bit more wiggle room.
El Andro se tiene rato queriendo matar a la Jin y no ha podido. Se va. Ese flicks que hizo ahí. Ese flicks, loco.
Team Envy looked like they were about to take a bit of a head because we saw Seismic Crash used against the single frontline instead of maybe locking down the Androxus. But then it's the impasse, it's positioning right now. So for Team Envy to do a little bit better this time around,
está intentando posicionarse de nuevo. La tumbó quién. Ah, sí la tumbó a Eevee. Tumbaron a Androxus. Agarró ahí la pared.
Seems like there's just too much going the way of Kanga Esports. Meanwhile, Team Envy has Mr. Hayes on a 15 streak.
It's a Maldamba.
It's a Maldamba. He's just backing off. Doesn't want to give it up at this point.
Not quite up to the Janus levels of things, folks, but we're unlikely to see a Janus in this tournament just because they kind of don't have the
Janus haciendo un buen torneo ahí. El Sin haciendo un buen torneo ahí.
Has been so crucial with the life exchange. He's getting cauterized.
Uy, da un toque la... Uy, esa pared de loco la ha jodido 2 veces. Uy, lo mataron.
This could be what Envy needed to stabilize.
That was very nearly. If that shield had blocked the shot, if Random Nude hadn't blinked up, then soared through.
La curaron a Fernando de nuevo.
Being a kill in the Zim could have gone very differently, but again, the kills keep on coming through in favor of Envy.
Está reñido ahí.
In the base of Team Envy right now, that's not meant to be there. You should step down.
You know, that was interesting because that was kind of a bait.
Si capturan ahí de nuevo, va a estar 3-1. Ah, no, 2-2.
Going to eventually die from that. They really wanted that objective fight, and the thing is, they've used it all.
See, I'm a little bit confused about that as well. I agree with you describing that as a bait. Right, when your Zin goes down, you lose a lot of your aggressive pressure, you especially lose your distraction factor. There's no necessity at that point to kind of dive on into the backline and really put the pressure on, but here we go. Some big double kills, I think, which is Rock Monkey going in again this time around and just finding pressure, finding kills, getting the reset and staying alive.
Ooh, Mr. Flix.
Here's the thing, Box. Obviously, we know that the ultimate advantage hasn't shifted now towards Team Envy, who are very patient.
Ese Flix, papá.
4 ultimates out of 5, only without the Rubu Immortal, but they are going to do without the life exchange, the illusory rift for Ying on Chronix. We're going to have Jules without the assert dominance, and then Corlin, no spike.
And really, this is very critical right now, because how do you respond to all the pressure from Team Envy if you haven't got that illusory rift? That's the big buffer zone right there. It's the big cushion which stops you from soaking in again, but again...
otra vez.
Pressure goes on to the Ash, because again, they've got no...
Uy, loco, lo dejó.
The assert dominance, you just used it, Jules, and now Rock Monkey's able to do his thing. Double kill for the Rock. And he is the Rock of this team. The DPS shows up eventually, making
un toque, loco, la lian, un toque. Ah, la curaron.
With his life, and that's the move, that is what you were talking about.
Let's talk about one of the mid-max things that Rock Monkey did right there as well, which made that play so beautiful. Running Abyssal Touch to reset your nether steps. Punches Inara's deployable wall to just get that reset. And there are a lot of players that would miss doing that, but it's such a critical thing to be able to do.
24% now for Kenga Esports, 66 for Team Envy, trying to hold off onto this Yomi swing, and there's the Rubu. Shield, can he stay alive? Rock Monkey dancing in and out of the Inclone, gets a nice
le hizo reversa al loco. Le hizo reversa la reversa.
Can Jules get out? This is huge. If Corlin stays alive, things could change. The spike comes up, but he goes down.
Oh, that spike could have been the thing which turned the tide there, folks, but it's just not enough. Team Envy, they're getting the kills that they need. Overtime is ticking at a 2-2.
Tienen el punto de nuevo, loco. Ahora tienen ellos el punto. Los Kanga. Ah, no, Envy.
Rock Monkey went off, right?
So this is the conversion rate. Yeah. This is the...
Envy tiene el punto ahora mismo.
You cap, you not pushed. The other team caps, and they just get a free push right here.
Exactly.
This is the format, folks. It's the script. It's how we do it.
It's how we do it in Paladins. But the other thing, too, is that I'd say that this
se
fue. Game. When you have these like wide open fights where Androx
se le fue, loco.
Rock Monkey did fine, always. It was, can he show up in the objective fight? And he just did that. And now Random Noob has room to move. Rubu finds an early kill, and he's getting healed up by Mr. Hayes.
And that's a big one for me. Evie does well in compositions where she already has pressure, where she already has space and can get that flank going, get that positioning going, which is the really important thing right there. Now that space is being created for Team Envy. Will Random Noob appear on the left? On the right, will the Accursed Arm get a kill?
There it is, Accursed Arm from Androxus. They bait at least one ultimate. There's the Spite as well. Oh, Chronix finds Rubu. They're going to back off. Team Envy realize things are in a pretty good position for them, so they don't need to offer any more resources until they feel completely ready. Can't get Esports, though, in dire straits here. Random Noob, blink in, blink out, baits out the third Yomi strike. Still a minute and 20, Vox.
We'll have to see if maybe that even can bait out something else, right? If you use an Ice Storm to maybe bait out the Assert Dominance or a Seismic Crash or an Enlightenment from Leon, you can really start softening people up. But here we go, there was the Assert Dominance. Jules uses that, but Rock Monkey actually took him out. Here's the damage too.
Finds 2, Vox. You don't have to stop talking. I'm just popping off over behind you because this
se cae. No, mames.
Speaking of off, that was off the map right there.
Un mal cálculo ahí, güey.
That was an NA
Hubo un accidente
which
ahí.
I appreciate.
Okay, but now that's too far. Now I'm personally attacked.
No,
you know,
mames.
I stopped talking to give you way, and now I've got to at least jam something in there like that. But Evan, despite the Eevee blinking off the map, there are 40 seconds left
regalando
on this
hecho
push,
hoy.
and it is 90% of the way through. There is time for Team Envy to get back on here. That was a presence caught right there by Androxus. That reversal could have swung, but still, in goes the Immortal. Team Envy, they're looking for it.
Doki finds a beautiful kill onto Corlin. That's going to start things off on the way of Envy. Random Noob forces the Enlightenment, gets some damage, but it doesn't find the kill. In fact, Denim falls. Could this be the end of
tocó por nada lo que pasó.
Joel slams down 8 seconds of immunity, but it might not be enough because here comes Team Envy. The Fortress Breaker shield looks to be the only thing.
Lo tomaron, lo tomaron, lo tomaron. Envy captura. Uy, loco. Lo tienen el punto. Creo que esta la ganan, loco, Envy. Esta la gana Envy. ¿Será que la remontan? No, ganó Envy, señores. Loco, ganaron otra más. Ha ganado 2. Vamos a ver cómo le va la última. Si esta se convierte en la última o si van a haber 2 más después de esto.
PGS players, amateur players, now on the biggest stage at the biggest time, showing up big, almost putting themselves in a chance to get the semis.
I just want to see how many more bigs he can fit in there. But Team Envy might be able to go through the semifinals right now. I am very big. I'm not sure.
Told. I'm not sure. He's big.
I am a long person.
That's what we say. That's the official. That's the official quote right there. Let's send it back to the desk and break it down. Game 2 goes the way of Envy, although that one was a little closer than we thought.
Someone had to take the mic away from Vox. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you guys are gonna start to throw some fists there at some point. You know, then again, seeing Vox in a fist fight would be phenomenal.
Oh, I'd pay to see that.
Yeah. By the way, also, I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone who's watching on Mixer right now, because my favorite feature, hands down, is the space whale, and I've saved up so many sparks, and I've spammed that space whale so many times in this chat. So if you actually have the ability to have some sparks, spam some space whales, do it, because I actually happen to be a big fan of it.
I need to stare at that chat in about 20 seconds.
I love it. I'm seeing it in the chat right now. It's just so hilarious.
Sí. Está hablando del chat de Mixer, que cada vez aparece un pescadito ahí.
It seems like, man, this has been very, very dominant by this team. Look at that. Oh my God, it was even another really weird looking whale. Anyway, so yes, what's going on here, guys? What's going on with Kanga? Let's start there first.
So I think the biggest thing to look at right there is the Zen pick was super clutch. It came out because nobody really runs them online. The ping kind of affects the sword just a little bit, so you don't really get that high level practice because nobody's comfortable on them anymore. Yeah. So them pulling out that Zen, I think that's what gave him those 2 points. He's really flexible and he can do a lot of things. You know, he's got range with the Yomi slash, and then he's also got flank ability, and then he's really hard to kill. I think the biggest turnaround was when they spent too many ults to try to convert on the point 2, and that's where they really lost their ability to contest easily.
It wasn't even just that. It was the fact that they didn't adapt to not having ults. They kind of just stood there, watched the ults go on. They're like, oh, well, Hexafire, oh, a Cursed Arm. And then the Ashe didn't dash away. She ate all 4,000 damage. They just didn't react fast enough to the game plan that Envy was going to have.
I would even say, like, that wasn't necessarily the end of the road. Like, they ate the ults. They had the retouch, but they just didn't really, like, once they had that retouch happen, they just couldn't metabolize something to make a great play there. And they just kind of, like, all died really slowly in an unfortunate manner, because if they had gotten back in, they definitely could have held on to that point and probably pushed the game a little further. Envy's comp, super strong at pushing though.
I'm gonna look up metabolize right now. I'm gonna look up that word. That's a I'm kidding, buddy. I know exactly what you mean. But let's take a look at the post-game stats here and see if we can get a little bit more information from that game, courtesy of Access Replay here. Let's take a look. So, Rock Monkey again. This dude. Okay, you know, what is it? He had the Cassie last game, I believe, right? So you take away the Cassie, you're like, oh, okay, you're gonna stop him from being, you know, an issue, right? A person you got to deal with, and then Rock Monkey
goes, vamos a ver cómo será la próxima.
I could bust out the Andy and do just as much damage. Very well done from him.
In case any of you forgot at home, Rock Monkey is a very good player.
Rock Monkey, very good.
You know, he started on Andy. He started on Andy, so it's like, I mean, you can't ban just Cassie and assume it's enough. It's kind of why you don't see her get banned very much, is because it's not like she brings an overwhelming presence to the field.
There could have been another option for them to remove. Maybe, like, I would go as far as say the Fernando or maybe the Eevee if you were looking to get out the damage, right? Yeah. Because it really did cause a lot of problems for them as well.
Yeah, you can't ban out Rock Monkey. Yeah. You used to, against Envy, random Zero Pool used to limit them to the sense where you could ban out what random wanted, pick the other one yourself, and then there'll be a worse team. But not anymore. You can't really ban out anybody on Envy. But Rock Monkey has, I think, the deepest pool of anybody on that team.
Well, your Still Series MVP is Rock Monkey.
Rock Monkey con Androxus.
On the Androxus, 99,000 damage, the 2.9 KDA. A good game though from Kanga. He was 2-2 right at the midpoint of the game. But it was that third round where Envy just ran away with it. It was because of this guy right here. The damage that he was putting down was just too much for the Aussies to handle.
I want to say, like, there was one shocking moment where a certain Eevee blinked off the map with an ice block falling into the abyss. Nearly seemed to cost them their pressure, but because of their experience and just ability to get back in, they recovered and then capped and ended the game. Like, I was shocked. I'm like, oh man, Eevee's dead. That could be the end of this push here, and then, oh, we're just going to do it again and win it.
I mean, things happen, right? You just have to find a way to adapt. I mean, that's, you know, that is definitely a yikes situation there, right? But, all right, so now we're going into game 3 here. The picks have gone down. Now it's loser's pick at this point. Yes. Kanga's going to have to make a choice now. Do we get, what was it? Timbermill. Do we get Timbermill? Is that what we're going to get here?
Oh, we're about to find out.
Let's find out. Oh. Let's move it out of the way.
Timbermill! Hey, oh, man. Look at that. Golden Boy knows something. Okay. So
Timbermill.
It is definitely a map in the Paladins game. I can't say it's not.
Just to say, first time being played all of the major events,
including the whole qualifier.
First seeing of Timbermill. So we're going to get to hear a little jingle. We haven't heard it yet. I'm kind of excited. Maybe it has a saw going on in the background and some guys on a hammer. You know, a lot of work going on in Timbermill.
But I thought it wasn't lumber season.
Well, looks like they got a surprise shipment.
Looks like lumber season's opening up. I'm doing a bitey right now. He's you know, just comes off. He's infectious personality. But is it enough though? Is it enough to take out Envy? This team is giving me some serious like Na'Vi vibes right now with how they're playing.
Yeah, they're basically the Na'Vi of NA in terms of how dominant they are, and they're a team that has had this roster. I mean, together these players for long enough where they should be comfortable on any map. They shouldn't be uncomfortable playing Timbermill or old Ice Mines or any of those maps.
Well, now it's time for the picks and bans. Kanga backs against the wall. Need to make a decision here. It's basically do or die.
And what's interesting here, Kanga elected to be second pick. Like, that's how you know that they kind of have an idea of how they want to play this, and they're even more comfortable with just giving them the first pick, because when you're not comfortable on Timbermill, you put out bans that are kind of indicative of the map. So let's ban a Strix.
So yeah, why the Strix ban? What's the, for some of the newer viewers out there, why the Strix ban on Timbermill?
Ok, banearon en Timbermill, los snipers, a Strix y a Kinesa, que tienen toda la ventaja del mundo, ¿verdad?
So you're really putting the pressure on Envy here to ban out some of these snipers because you don't want to deal with them, right? Like the Kinesa as well.
And it's not even that necessarily they're always working and overpowering here, but it's kind of like the initial thought of like, oh, I'm on Timbermill. Let me just ban both snipers and get it over with, because you don't want to have to deal with that potential. You can EV against them, you can do other stuff, but Envy's electing for kind of like you're safe, like, oh, we're going to Timbermill. Just ban the snipers. That's spicy.
Okay, why is the Victor pick spicy?
Well, when do you ever see Victor going first before any kind of tank? There's an Inara who's up.
That's fair.
And they've gone with Victor. The reason why you're looking at Victor here is there's going to be these little tops of these areas called the perch. These little boxes, you can just chuck grenades from one side to the other. It's a lot of suppression.
Set it and forget it for those nades there. Kanga now going to be the ones picking their next two champions. They're going to be going into bank time as well. Let's see what they decide here.
Tiene bugs en Mister también.
Ah, puta madre. Move the Fernando out? Do you play the Fernando,
tanks in general,
do you take the Inara?
Tanks in general are just lower value on this map.
Yeah, okay.
I feel it's hard for them to get in. They can kind of control the side high grounds.
Okay, Victor, Inara.
But with the Victor already being picked up, Inara is not.
Wow. Inara and Torvald, lots of protection there. But I was going to say, look at Kanga's bans. They were taking out tanks. So in their mind, they're thinking, let's tank starve them. Let's remove the good tanks from the fight. And you got Inara, and now you have Torvald. Not bad.
I think what they're going into here is like with the Torvald, Victor is all of a sudden a big question mark because you can take Eevee, you can take Andy, and I mean, I wouldn't put against them. They could take a Zin, and a Zin Torvald is probably the hardest thing to kill in the game. He's got Bellow, he's got shields, he's got counter. So I would be expecting that might be a potential.
Lo que Torvald y Sin sería una combinación increíble, loco, genial. Genial.
Ruckus is a really solid tank on this map because he's basically like he can play like a backline with his poke and it's consistent.
And he can move very quickly.
Yeah, he can dash from the high ground to their high ground or like the lower high ground. Having a secondary backline just to poke angles on this map is really strong.
Están dando skins de la DreamHack. O van a regalar skins de la DreamHack.
Yeah, Ying is always a super safe pick, especially on a map that's this large. That 800 burst is going to save Victor's life, or whatever else they partner up with them. I think the Leand is a respectable counter pick, and look at that Eevee. Eevee and Torvald with a Leon backing him up.
There's a lot of pressure on the Kanga side, because Leand just tears through a lot of these, you know, a lot of the shields, tears through a lot of these characters. And then you also have Eevee that just dives right into the back. Like, I don't know, but you do get the Cassie. That is probably going to go for Rock Monkey there.
Yeah, it's a complex composition for Envy to bring out. I think the Barrack is a super safe pick, but again, it's going to be on how well Kanga can play their competition because I would probably say that they've got a little bit better setup.
I would say it's going to come down to how well
big rate. Siempre lo piquean a más lado.
Distance between the Eevee and their backline, Eevee's going to have to expend cooldowns to get in close, and then they'll be able to keep her zoned enough to put pressure on the Inara, on the Torvald, not let the Leon do what the Leon wants to do.
All right, well, the champions have been locked in. Kresnik, who you got?
I'm going to say, I think Kanga will be able to pull it off. I think they're really strong with the Torvald.
Kanga took it to Timbermill. Who do you think here, Bitey?
Well, you see, when you go to Timbermill and you got a shipment of lumber, it's kind of anybody's game, but I think Kanga's got about the most, you know, capability on this particular draft to potentially take one game with that.
All right, well, you heard it there from Sheriff Bitey. Now it's time to send it over to your casters. You got Vox and Randay for game 3. Can Kanga bounce back? We'll find out.
So, who do I see? Vox, right? Vox. Sign this too?
Please.
Okay. All right, kid. You're going to make it one day. That's going to be worth a lot of it. Yeah, it's about $20,000. Be careful. Just met a young fan, decided, let's let him cast. Like, let's do it. Are you down?
I'm down.
He's ready. So he was actually really appropriately dressed. I said, this is like very random. But
you know,
let's do it. Why
I'm British.
Not?
What can I say?
So is Timbermill. I think that was the other thing, too.
British?
Well, random. Maybe it's British. I don't know.
Aquí comienza.
I would like to see that actually, but look at this dive from Eevee going straight to the backline. Oh, doesn't get the kill on a Rock Monkey. A lot of pressure.
Rock Monkey
this is going to be all about backline this game, folks. It's all about this pressure from Kanga. And can Team Envy grind them down before Kanga go for the kill?
Is that it? Is that really is it just a matter of just
Uy, en el aire, la puta madre.
You down, like trying to just get through your defenses any way possible?
Kill. That's the big thing. If Victor drops down, right, Victor is in a much more vulnerable position. If Victor has to kind of spend time running back up around the stairs or through the portal.
Wow,
that was some.
Se mamó.
Oh, that was some math, right? That was some math. That was some calculus.
Eso fue matemáticamente calculado.
I'm not afraid to say it. Did not love geometry. Will not love it now. Someone else. It seems like Rock Monkey was setting the curve in that class for sure. Grenade bounces, and boy, oh boy, does it look sweet for him. 66% Vox. But you're right. This has been a bloodbath. Somebody's got to make another decisive moment, and now Osrino comes back under the point.
And that's important. The wall goes up. They can contest and won't get actually much more from Envy right there. And Ruckus being forced out is really big as well. Emitter is already down. Corlin needs to find this kill. Got to go in for the chase. But again, you're dealing with a Ruckus that's got 1,500 damage.
Se lo llevaron. Se llevaron al
Torvald también. How did Joel's die?
I mean, Tolkien has been so phenomenal for me in these matchups that it's just so hard to bet against him. And then, although he's looking good on the Eevee with the illusory rift there, 600 health a second, that's negating one of his shots essentially every single time he shoots it. So that's not a good matchup there. Ice block in, wormhole in as well.
Ya no podía aguantar tanto ahí.
Back to base, says Team Envy. 1-0 on Timbermill. They are one game away and 3 points now from moving to the semis.
See, I'm not sure how different that goes if Toki does actually, you know, turn around and not backpedal into a ruckus that's just mowing down your DPS.
Yeah, right.
But even if that's not the case,
a los tres, loco, le pegó.
Rockmonkey have been actually securing much of these kills, and it's this constant pressure. Enlightenment was
Ay, se le fue, loco.
used by Leon there to find absolutely nothing.
And look at the interesting thing too, Box. I mean, how do you like the reaction from Rock to just immediately pull out the barrage? Like, he didn't know if he was going to get
I got an Iki. Slaps keyboard this time. Right there. But I mean, there we go. Illusory Rift from Team Evan. They're just hitting the gas pedal right now. And Evan, they've really got no reason not to. They're performing lights out. They're 1-0. They're halfway through the push on Timbermill. This is the first couple of kills we're actually seeing really come through from Kangaroo Esports. And the payload keeps on rolling for free because nobody steps down a contest.
Oh my God, nice
What
little
are you
jukes there by
Toma.
Random Noob. I mean, he went down and in the portal, which on this map, you'll see some very distinct features. One of it is how long it is. One of it is how difficult it is to get to each of the locations that are spread out by distance. The other is that it does have portals, and that takes you from low ground to high ground on both the objective perch and that little one you saw Random Noob fighting on with the Cassie.
You know, if you could roll through one of those with the bonking love machine skin, would you call it love in an elevator?
You would call it fast love, quick love.
There we go.
Bomb King doesn't want to be known for that, but unfortunately, I don't know, buddy.
Well, Ninim's looking for a bit of a kill right now on a Victor. 1 minute and 5 seconds left on the clock. Team Envy have elapsed most of their ultimates. Scout is about to come up again. Dome Shield 2. I doubt they're going to want to use the Dome Shield to convert here because you want that for capture control because Barak is a little bit more vulnerable than Inara on the objective, and it's good to have that security right. But here we go. Kangaroo Esports, they are finding a couple of kills. Torvald's getting online at last. Corland hitting the shots is mattering.
And this is a big deal, too. I mean, if Corland can step up, because he had a really nice game in Game 1.
Right.
Game 2, he fell off a little bit, although he looked good. It just felt like more of a frontline struggle until Rockmonkey got going. But if he can have a big game here and give Ninum some space, that sounds like it'll be a really, really big help for Kanga.
That's what you need right in order for Eevee to succeed, especially when you've got parallel area damage pressure coming through from a Victor with all these frag grenades. You need your Eevee to have the space to go. You need there to be enough suppression coming from the rest of Kanga for the Eevee to have a bit more of a free time. And here's part of the issue with drafting a Torvald and an Inara. You get a lot of sustain, you haven't got much pressure.
And that is one of the little min-max things that you like to talk about, Fox.
Positive pressure, I love it.
And you know what? Also, Random Noob throws himself off that perch and just make sure that Ninum has to really fully commit or else just try to hit a very hard shot to finish him off. And 100 health in this game is 99 more than you need to keep on fighting.
That's very true. I can't follow your mathematics there, although I don't like the safety net. I'm clenching a little bit thinking about that. But here we go. Dread Serpent to start things off. Kanga Esports expelling their ultimates right now. Random Noob goes on in, looks with his Torvald. Misses the disengage. No big game, but gets the high ground for free.
But that's what Toki's doing for this team. It's been incredible. This is him doing a little portal battle. He anticipates it this time. Ninum.
Uy, ¿para dónde va?
He's like, I've seen this one before. In fact, I've done it 3 times on you. Overtime taken away, but this is going to be Envy's point 2-0 to start
get back. That's part of the problem. Torvald and Inara, they have no mobility.
Yeah.
They just kind of go, oh, we're not near the objective. I guess I'm going to kind of waddle my way back on through. And if you get dismounted, especially on a map like Timbermill, there's really not much you can do. So what's
the comeback strategy? How do they change this around? Because this is do or die for Kanga. I mean, Aussies, they've been working so hard to get here.
Yeah.
And now
Ahí me gustó.
So there are 3 things. First of all, Core needs to hit that shot.
Oh!
That has to absolutely happen. Second of all, we can't have Joel's backpedaling into a rocket shooting at DPS for free.
Yeah.
And third of all, you got to kill the Victor. That's it for me. That's actually the entire thing. Is you've got to kill the Victor because as soon as you deal with the Victor, the 6-0-5 Rocket Monkey is sitting on 11th streak right now. You remove so much pressure from your DPS, and that's where the pressure from Envy has been going. It's not onto the front lines. They don't care about the Torvald Inara. Force out the Eevee. Force out this Leon.
15% counting now on the objective. Kanga Esports trying to start things off, and there's the Ice Storm, but oh boy, that is a fail.
Toma, loco, esa granada.
Can't quite find the kill. Rock Monkey's going to go for it again. You know it. It goes
Muerto ahí.
Doesn't come down with a kill, but Random Noob and Envy have found all they need. Kanga Esports are pushed back, and this might be their final fight.
You know, if I wanted to describe as well the way in which Team Envy are playing, it's very methodical, it's very systematic right now. They're going, we're going to throw a few grenades up top, we're going to force the DPS out a little bit, and then we'll just deal with people one by one as they engage. They aren't forcing a lot of free damage on the front lines. They aren't forcing a lot of unnecessary damage onto supports which are able to get away. They're taking targets down in turn, in the right order, and now a Dome Shield up top just by some zoning time. 99% for Team Envy will surely go through.
And Viper Beam. I mean, it's going to buy a little bit of time. It's going to allow for the wall.
No, no pudo, no pudo. No pudo empujarlo ahí. No va a ser.
Cortland's got to hit his shots, but not when there's 5 people to shoot.
No, Envy ya está. Está win, loco.
And he's not even close to the objective. He's still on
Envy
somewhere. Sightseeing.
ganó,
Envy 3-0, looking to make it
3-0, loco.
their ticket to the semifinals.
And this is just
Kanga no tiene oportunidad,
right? For Team Envy, it's the fact that this Victor pick just does so much, and the Cassie without fall-off is so strong. Leon's bringing utility, but again, where is your pressure coming from in Kanga's draft? It is just the Eevee, it is just Leon, and Team Envy have it from every single direction.
2 minutes. That's all it may take. Envy are looking a class above the rest. I mean, this is very much like Not As Sincere have looked, although they lost that game to Virtus Pro. Fnatic probably looking the best as far as the teams we've seen before in terms of their clinical nature, but G2, as much as you hate to say it, definitely didn't show up today the way a lot of us expected them, so that might have been a little easier than one can assume. But Envy are putting themselves in that top tier of Paladins on this big stage. We are expecting big things from them tomorrow if they can finish off this push here.
But they do still have the rest of the push to go through, and as we know it's 3-0 right now. We know that Team Envy have taken this set handily so far, but there is still chance for Kanga Esports to defend. This is the one where you don't make it, you go home. They will invest ultimates here, and that might be enough. And look at this distraction factor. Ninim throws Ruckus off a little bit. The payload's very far back compared to where it was beforehand, and it's 1 minute and 12 seconds left on this push.
I think this is where Random Noob needs to make a big play. He's got the scout. He's going to activate it. Scout all the reveals. No one's around. Needs to hit the blast shot. He's waiting for it to return. Now that Kinetics is going to go on Osrhino. 1 down. This is the beginning of maybe the end for Kanga Esports Team Envy. Just Rock Monkey having him zone forward and back. And Vox, it looks like this is continuing to be Envy finding the pressure. And there's one more. It's Joel's who falls next.
Meanwhile, by the way, the Eevee is chasing Ruckus. And Evan, I'm going to just cut the wind out of the sails of all of that, because throughout all of that, you got an Eevee chasing a Ruckus, Ninim's trying to find the kill on Tolkien, and sure, that removes some of the pressure, but there's a Cassie first. The Ruckus is a threat, but whilst you're dealing with them, you're just waiting for this barrage of grenades to come on through, and all these shots from Cassie. I mean, look at where Random Noob is right now. 3 shots to the high ground, and nobody can reach them because of this defensive position. You've got to find a way to find them.
Let's see if they can find it now. We're not sure if this is going to end in something, and I think if Envy are playing smart, and they typically do,
pero la Ivy es la única que está haciendo algo en ese equipo. Según lo que veo.
They will save ultimates to guarantee something rather than risk it all here and potentially have to come back.
Right? That's all you really need to do is bait Kanga's ultimates out. You know that you're going to win the neutral point.
Oh, wow.
You know that you're going to not find any kills with Hexafire by ulting behind a pair of boxes, Tolkien.
But they got one.
A bit of a demonstration as to this map isn't played very frequently, but here we go. Team Envy, they're looking for it.
They want it here, Vox. There's the Hexafire, there's the Dome Shield, Rubu and Rock Monkey doing it to him this time. Australia truly
hicieron y ganó Envy, señores. No. Se la rehicieron, loco, ahí.
That was the cleanest show we've seen so far, and that's including Fnatic versus G2 in those first 2 games. Discount a few points for Ice Mines, but hey, it is Ice Mines. But overall, I mean, we've seen a Timbermill. This was a Kanga map for a long time. They were prepared to play this kind of map, which other teams just avoid. And coming into this, we're seeing the proof in the pudding right now of Team Envy being that #1 seed out of North America and being ready for anything.
These boys have traveled so far to be here. They have pained their way through the PWC qualifier land. We've seen Virtus Pro go from that. We've seen Kanga go from that. Surprisingly, we saw Fnatic stay from that, and of course we still have one more set to finish off our Paladins matchups for these quarterfinals heading into tomorrow's semis. But Vox, incredible cast with you, buddy. Incredible performance by Envy. Let's send it back to the desk as we await their analysis and look forward to game number 4.
Thank you so much, Evan. Thank you so much, Vox, for that one. And we were split on